But welcome back, everybody, to session number 20. We are
Wow.
moving right along in our
I'll
little
drink.
campaign here.
Almost.
Last time on Epics of Irindal, our party had arrived along the Ivory Coast after several hunting party members of the Aarakocra tribe of the Hermon had not returned from their earlier excursion to the Ivory Coast for fishing and collection of various foods and supplies, with the exception of one heavily injured Aarakocra who managed to stumble their way back through the skies, crash landing just on the outskirts of the verdant embrace. After narrowly escaping death with the help of Floof and the village mystic Ulman Tellus, you were able to discover a few bits of information that this individual had most certainly been attacked by something quite dangerous. Accompanied by the one of the leaders of the Umbral Hunters, Ulman Zaisha, and several other members of the hunting party that had returned earlier in that evening, you all sped to the Ivory Coast to try to discover what had happened. Upon arrival, you found that you were greeted by the massive carcass of a dead whale. A whale that was covered in a similar mucus-like acidic substance across its back and fins, and also had signs of being punctured by many jagged-looking items that you couldn't quite ascertain what they were initially. During the time of discovery, looking about this scene, trying to find any signs of the missing individuals, you were suddenly attacked by a group of strange fish-like individuals, some bipedal, some of them having the lower bodies of fish and the upper bipedal nature of humanoids, but nonetheless dangerous and extremely hostile as they approached you all, taking aim with spears and harpoons and other various implements of sea hunting, attempting to gather more in their excursion along the shore. You were narrowly able to defeat some of these individuals, a few of them escaping, namely one of their leaders escaping off into the waves, but nonetheless leaving behind a noticeable trail of blood in the water back to a strange underwater sea cave that you now find yourselves in. The remaining hunters that didn't return back to the Verdant Embrace to gather additional support stated that they were unable to submerge below the waves for fear of their safety and drowning, but decided to look from above to try to find an alternate entrance into these caves, while you all, submerging below the waves, now exit into the caves, following behind a still discoverable trail of blood from this individual that escaped you earlier. Now you find yourself in a dim, dank, undersea cave with pockets of air that you now breathe. The whole region of this approximately 15 to 20 foot tall dome-like entrance to this cave, as you step down through the narrow passages, is dimly lit by these similar plants that give off this bioluminescent dim light in the area. Not the greatest of vision for those without the gift of dark vision, but still enough to just barely see as you hear moving water and trickling movement of water heading deeper into this cave. This time, what would our party like to do?
Let's see.
So, looking around, it seems like the only way we have available to go is towards the water.
From what you can see in your general vicinity, yes. There seems to be, other than the entrance upon which you arrived in this undersea cavern, the only other location as you kind of look around this 40, 50 foot wide entrance area to these caverns is down to your right-ish as you entered, some moving water that seems to be trickling through the rocks into a much deeper pool and moving through this narrow series of passages deeper into these caverns. But that seems to be the only sort of continuation that you see directly in front of you.
Could I smell anything other than a dark, wet cave?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
All right. Kind of nice.
The 25. It is extremely musty down here. All you really get is initially is the scent of seawater and salt. And this sort of musty vegetation, not unlike the weeds and things that you saw covering those creatures earlier, kind of mixed with that sort of acidity just barely on the tip of your tongue as you breathe in this air. But what you all also gather, ever so faintly, is a similar sort of oily scent that you recognize. The same sort of oily scent that you got as you used it to bathe back in the verdant embrace, not but a few nights before. That sort of feather oil that was utilized to clean and cleanse the outermost layer of feathers the Aarakocra rely on to maintain their altitude in flight. You smell that same oil just faintly moving deeper and deeper into the caverns.
Okay. For refresh my memory, there was an abducted Aarakocra, right?
There were several.
Okay.
There were approximately 5 or 6 is what they told you.
All right. I'll give a couple like sniffs and say I think they're here. Smell their foul oil.
Well, that's good news. We're on the right track, it seems. Do we have those bioluminescent is it plants that are around or is it rocks? I don't remember.
It's a mixture of plants and algae and moss. They're kind of spread all around the various grooves and below the surface of the water that you see directly in front of you.
Okay.
They're just kind of scattered about in various clumps below the waves. From where you can see now, you don't get as much of that foulness of that fog that you sensed earlier around the carcass of the whale. You don't see that sort of murkiness in the water, and you don't see any of that fog initially. Floof, you just barely catch the faintest whiff of that acidity deeper into the caves, but in this area where the water is freshly flowing in from between the rocks, likely from higher above some sort of break in this cavern, you can definitely smell that it is still salt water, but it is much cleaner here, as if it's been filtered by the rocks as it's passed through.
Okay.
And that's allowed this sort of light to kind of vaguely be dispersed in this area.
Can I move forward towards the water here? Just see how deep it is.
Yeah, you can definitely tell in this particular area it is about It varies a little bit from anywhere from 8 to 10 feet deep.
Okay.
And you can see as you kind of step closer now, moving around in this area that it kind of varies in elevation, and it kind of climbs a little bit as it goes towards this first bend just on the edge of your vision. And as you come close to that area, let me extend your field of view just a little bit more. Come on. Is that working? Oh, polygonal view. There we go. You see the cavern begins to turn off to the point where it's now completely blocked by the rocky carapace as it curves up into a narrower portion of this cavern. But to the point where it's you might be waist high in water towards the end of it, not quite as deep.
I have a crazy idea.
Let's hear it.
Can I wild shape into a swarm of bats?
Okay. I dig it. You can... well, you're level 6, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have...
fly.
Yeah, I don't know if you have flight at this
beast,
point.
yeah, now that I think about it.
What's in the beast compendium?
Well, it shows it as a half, like half.
So it is within your CR rating?
Yeah.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Okay.
He's Batman.
All right, I turn into. I'll say, can't see well. Will scope ahead, and then I'll poof into a swarm of bats.
Okay. I dig it. I dig it. I don't have a marker for you as a swarm of bats, but I would assume the bats have either blind sense or dark vision, one of the two. I would
blind sight. Yeah.
They do have blind sight. Okay, so you do not need to rely on vision. How far out is their blind sight? I would assume at least 30.
60.
60. Oh, wow.
60.
Okay, so yeah, you have total sense as you watch your companion Floof step down on all fours, and in just this moment of primal energy, his body begins to separate and scatter until it crumbles into these various winged rodents as they just scatter about in this swarm of swirling bats. An extremely strange sight to the both of you, but at this point, having watched Floof do a number of things, it's still within the realm of reasonable things that he's done since you've met him. But you watch this swarm of bats kind of move out, and at this point, Floof, you would have just as much of a range of vision as your companions.
Okay.
And you two would see this curvature as the cavern begins to swing as you face downward to your right, as it begins to narrow a bit.
I'm gonna move up a little bit. I'm not gonna go too far right away and see what I could see.
Okay.
Pretend I'm bats.
Go ahead and give me a perception check if you don't mind.
All right. Well, let's go.
Yo.
With another 25, you using the echolocation of the bats, you can definitely tell that the cavern begins to curve back, almost perpendicular to the segment of trailing water, and there's definitely a slow movement of water towards where you're headed. Like the ground below it that makes up the base of where you're able to walk along the bottom, it rises and falls with the water level seems to be relatively level, if not beginning to fall off as you go deeper and deeper into these caverns. And you can definitely see that there's a flow of water kind of around and deeper down, a slow decline of this water level as it moves away from the source where your companion Dazes is about right now. Also, with that high of a roll, you can definitely sense that you look up, and as you're kind of fluttering around the uppermost surface of this cavern, some of these stalagtite, I think it's stalactite, the ones that's on the ceiling. You can definitely tell some of these stalactites may not be the most stable, as you see kind of movement of water over time on some of them, and some of them are just ever so precariously fixed to the ceiling of this cavern at this point, and that any undue vibration around them might loosen them enough to fall. And some of these are quite large.
Okay.
In fact, I'll mark a few of them that you can see in your general location here.
So I don't know if they'll have to roll for this shot in the dark or not, but I'll fly around nearby one of them in like a circle to maybe kind of indicate like to watch out for this.
The three that you see right now that look the most precarious are where those markers are I just placed.
Okay, I'll fly near this one and hope that they get the idea, but I understand that communication is not a skill set of a bat.
But we do see him like circling 3 particular stalactites.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so we know something is up with them, but we may not know.
Right. You kind of get the idea, and as you kind of zone in on where he's circling, finding it suspicious that he would encircle these particular areas over and over again, just wordlessly communicating, you can kind of see what's going on here. And your understanding of structural components, trash, and various parts and pieces of machinery, you would understand that they're probably not the safest thing to be standing directly under or around were they to come loose from the ceiling.
Okay.
So that helps with safe pathing. But as for transportation in general, with how deep the water is, trash, and also trash panda. Are you guys? I don't remember from the last session. Do y'all have? Are y'all able to swim? Because I know y'all. It's like 8 feet deep, so I think we're all gonna have to swim to a degree.
I think we'll be able to swim. Just we're not very talented at it, so it's like half our walking speed.
It would be difficult terrain for you.
Yeah, I think like it's going to be very slow going for us, but it is technically doable.
Okay.
Just turn into some bats. Come on, you guys can't do that.
If only. Alright. I guess we're moving then.
Okay. What is the I would assume, Floof, you're kind of leading this charge as your swarm of bats.
I would just say so, sure.
Okay. And then what's the general marching order here?
Do y'all want me in back? Or middle? I guess.
I think I would slow you down, so rather maybe you can scout ahead and then check back in on like me and Panda occasionally, but we'll probably need to hang back.
Alright, I'll do kind of a back and forth kind of do. So I guess that means I'm second. Just trying to move up a bit. I don't know.
Okay.
Cool.
Aziz, as you pass this narrow kind of choke point around this large stalactite on the ceiling, go ahead and give me a dex check to see if you can kind of avoid making contact with it as it gets a bit narrow here.
I thought saving it. Well, I guess
It's not a saving, just a dex check. Yeah, it's not very high. You can definitely see with the help of your companion. Were you not aware of it, you may have bumped into it and had it fall on top of you, which would have been dangerous, yeah, to say the least. But with that, you were able to just narrowly avoid it, kind of grasping onto some of the plant life that grips the side of the cavern walls and slip by the first two with relative ease. The third will require yet another roll to get around without bumping into it.
And I'll go ahead and say I kind of like, with me going back and forth, kind of in the middle, I'll kind of stay close to Trash and Panda as we like kind of pass, around these stalactites.
Sure. Trash, are you following behind Dazes?
Yeah, so with the whole difficult terrain, like, can I say eventually I move up to where he is? Or, like, does that mean I'm only going to be doing half of what he's doing? Like, technically I'd be, like, here instead?
Yeah, we're not in initiative right now, so movement distance isn't really important.
Okay, so I'll say, yeah, I'm definitely, like, hanging back, but I am, by and large, like, following best as I can.
Yeah, as you kind of bob through the water and just utilize your amorphous form to kind of move through.
Yeah, I definitely look like a blob right now. There's no rat girl.
Right.
I'm a blob.
I'll do another spin around the danger stalactite for emphasis.
Right. With that roll, Dazes, you were able to get past the first two, but you'll need to make one more dex check to get by the third, as it's kind of precariously placed in between the two halves directly in the middle of this hallway. And it is definitely one of the larger of the three that you can see here.
All right. Yeah, I'll make it now. Let's see. Oh boy, natural 1 actually, +4, but.
Oh boy.
With a natural 1.
We also like to call that a critical fail.
Yes. You go to slip through, and your foot catches on some of the algae below. Moving forward without trying to keep yourself from going, face first into the dimly lit water, you grab directly onto this stalactite, and you feel it give as you do so, putting your full weight against it as you fall. Floof and Dazes, go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw. Floof, you can do so with advantage in your bat form.
Okay.
Okay. Floof, you were able to dodge out of the way seamlessly. Dazes, you do take half damage. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as chunks of this stalactite fall and strike you. One against the shoulder, another one directly onto the head. But you are able to dodge the larger chunks of it.
I am more skilled in deep water than I am in shallow water. It seems.
Wait, don't you have evasion? Or some means?
Maybe.
I thought you got something like that, or maybe that's later on. I thought monks had some form of evasion. I might be thinking differently.
I'll check.
But while that is going on, Trash, do you follow behind your companions?
Yeah, can I say I like very carefully remembering where I was supposed to kind of avoid, kind of like hug the wall and slowly maneuver through what I perceive to be dangerous bits of ceiling or
Right. I would say given your...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, what were you saying?
I was saying, since I fell over the third stalactite, is it gone or is it still?
Yes, it is. It is definitely gone. Yeah, it is. It is fully out of. Well, it is fallen at this point. It's fallen against the wall to your, where you're facing to your right, to the left as the board sits.
Okay.
I'll do another spin over this third one as I come across this edge, I suppose.
Sure. Trash, go ahead and give me a dex check. Given your amoeboid form, I can say go ahead and give me a dex check with advantage.
Okay.
Given that you do have the ability to squeeze through tight spaces, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Get evasion at level 7.
It's 7. Okay. That was close.
Yep.
I thought we had said something about it, but yeah. So this should just be a dex check, so just a d20 plus your dex modifier.
Oh god, they were both so rubbish. 11 was my
11?
best one.
11's not bad. Given your form, you're able to kind of compress yourself, and the fact that you are on the smaller end of the creature scale, as well as Panda being of a small stature as well, you're able to kind of squeeze by the first two with relative ease without disturbing them. And the third one, obviously, your companions already took care of.
Took care of it.
So, yes. But at this point, Floof, as you kind of round this corner, directing your companions, you can see now, as well as you, Dazes, as you kind of dodge out of the way of most of the falling debris from the cavern ceiling. You can begin to see a number of areas here. Let me go ahead and... Whoops. Is that not... Oh, polygon. I keep doing that. There's two different reveal functions. There's polygonal, and then there's like a square reveal. And in this case, the polygonal is what I'm trying to go for here. Is what you begin to see here. You notice there's a number of branching paths, water kind of trickling down from this upper portion that you see here, Floof, just around this corner. A large collection of this bioluminescent moss and vegetation gathering here right as where this water is passing through, with the limited salinity of the water as it's been filtered down through the rocks, passing all the way down from above. You also smell much stronger now that scent of oil coming from the northernmost exit of the three that you see here.
Okay. Do I notice any more particularly dangerous stalactites?
Not initially, no. Using your perception from earlier, no. You don't see any more in this particular area, as it is a bit wider. And there's not as much flowing water coming directly from the ceiling.
Okay.
But you get that stronger scent coming from this direction here.
Okay. Yeah, communication's tough, but I mean, yeah, I'll just continue to go in with some slowness, making sure that Trash and Dazes are staying close enough to see me. But
Sure.
I will be heading in that direction.
Okay. As you round that corner, go ahead and reveal a little bit more for you all. The scent begins to match up with the visuals as you see three forms in a closed off portion of this cavern. A very low ceiling here, probably no more than 8 feet above your heads, in this closed off, very dark portion of this cavern. There's a handful of the plants at the very far back, but for the most part, it's probably one of the darkest areas that you can see, and extremely closed off to the rest of this sort of cavern system. But you see three forms, one barely moving and two not moving at all. But the scent of that feather oil is extremely strong here as you turn around. And also the echoing begins to ping off of these three forms down this closed off cavern.
Alright.
As you see 3 of the missing Aarakocra umbral hunters, all of them bound and either barely moving or not moving at all. What would you all like to do?
Guys, I feel like it's a little bit of a trap.
That's fair. That's big fair, actually.
Which are you guys able to see the air cockerel, or do I have to kind of indicate that it's there?
I mean, I guess if we both have dark vision, so I think we would probably at least see their figures.
You would see them as you come around this corner.
All right. So not wanting to take any reckless actions, but not being able to, I'll kind of descend closer to you, you guys, to listen to the plan.
I am. So I know, obviously, you know, you want to save them, but I'm curious to know sort of what's like more to the west, just to get like maybe a better layout of the other like more immediate areas that are like in this cave system, and then maybe suss out to see if anything's going around this corner here.
Sure.
So I think I'm just
I'll hear that and kind of take a recon, whatever, look around.
Okay.
Scout.
Okay.
That's the word I was looking for.
As you come around that corner, Floof, you see that there's a separation, kind of a crisscrossing of various paths, but always coming back together to narrow down. You notice as well that the sort of bed level of the rocks and sandy soils below the water kind of rises, but the overall level of the water stays roughly the same, if not continuing to fall and flow deeper into these caverns, always just trickling down the other way. But you notice that the levels change drastically here, and kind of rise up to the point where there's only about maybe a foot of water in some of these areas as you go deeper in. And there's a lot more of this vegetation. It is a lot brighter as this bioluminescent fungus and algae and plant life is extremely prominent here, where the water isn't quite as deep. You see, kind of comes around here. Give me just a moment. And then these areas where it kind of crisscrosses back and forth before it begins to narrow at the far end of this portion of the cavern, you see that there are, like I said, lots and lots of this plant life that's giving off quite a bit more light than before. What you also begin to sense, Floof, to the far end of this cavern is more prominent movement. And at this distance now, you're beginning to get this much stronger scent of that acidity that you gathered in your memories from before. And there's a definite sense of movement, and not just from flowing water.
I'll fly rapidly and sporadically as a sense of danger somewhere deeper in the cave.
I think I understood that one actually.
Okay. So we just get the sense don't press forward on that side, I guess.
Are you asking me that, or are you just
I guess
saying
I'm
it out
just
loud?
checking in with Dazes. Like, do you think we should leave that side based off of Floof's gestures?
Yeah. But I'm also thinking I guess I don't know, there's no way to ask this directly, but I'm also wondering if there's any of that smell of that oil in that direction, because I think there may have been more than 3 Aarakocra that were captured.
Oh.
I will fly up and down words in a pattern, like a head nod.
Okay, so yeah, so we may have to go that way.
Okay.
But I mean, we got one closer to us.
Do you think we should try to sneak in there just in case, and then maybe if they're not being guarded, we can sneak and release them?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, let's focus on them first since they're
Okay.
since they're nearby.
Okay.
So I guess we can wade out of this water here. I guess do a quick look in this like closed cave area just to make sure that there isn't anybody like hiding behind a rock or something.
Sure. Go ahead and give me either perception or, well, in this case, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay.
You're trying to directly discern something with more detail.
Not fantastic rolls today. Only an 11.
Seems to be relatively normal from what you can tell.
Okay. Alright, well, I guess we can head in. So which
Before
one
we,
is
like-
one- Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say before we like properly enter, can I just also just take a gander, just see if I see anything that kind of looks suspicious or out of place?
Sure. You can give me an investigation check as well.
Ooh, that was pretty good. 19.
The 19, not but more than 5 or 6 feet in front of your companion, he's beginning to approach inside this cavern. You notice there's something unnaturally disturbed in this region right here.
Okay, I'll say, Dazes. Kind of like tug at him and just be like, and then point at this area, be like, it doesn't look right.
Can I like throw a rock on the ground there?
Yeah.
A heavier rock, I guess.
You throw a heavy rock there, and you watch as it slowly begins to sink before, and what was a mat of dirt and mud-covered ground gives way to a pitfall in this location. Nearly 15 feet down, you look down into this pit, and you see a number of sharpened reeds poking up from the bottom.
Well, it looks like a fun time. Is this area where this rock on the right is this like a can people fit in this like squeeze area?
Yeah, you don't seem to notice anything. In fact, you see on both directly around this rock, this large boulder that what's the opposite of stalactite? A stalagmite coming up from the bottom. I always have to remember the old adage, stalactites come from the ceiling and stalagmites might reach the ceiling. I forget how the saying goes. But yeah, this stalagmite, this conal rock extending up from the ground, you can definitely see this collection of minerals that have kind of dripped down from the cavern ceilings and along the walls to form this conal shape. Its weight would not be supported there if something had disturbed any further next to it, around this sandy sort of ground that's definitely not made to, or if it had been disturbed anymore, this rock would have fallen into this pit beside it. So you can tell that the area like 3 to 4 feet around this rock was intended to be the safe passage into this cavern.
I'll go ahead and grab some heavy rocks just to like throw in the area like north of this pit, just to make sure.
You throw all these heavy rocks and they just kind of sit in the dirt and the sand. And as you throw them, the Aarakocra that's leaning against the wall in this soft plant life looks over, just barely, one eye almost completely sealed shut and swollen, his feathers torn and damaged, but he turns and you see the optical like focus of the pupil center on the three of you as you enter, as he kind of reaches out one of his clawed hands at the end of the wing. You can see that the other is just severely damaged, if not broken in several areas. He doesn't speak great common, but he reaches out. Help us, please. Help us. Please help. I don't know how the others have fed. My satchel. And he points over to a loose gathering of leathers that he managed to stow in one of the shrubs beside him. So about a few feet against the wall, you see just the ever so faint difference in materials, some sort of leather items shoved underneath the plant life.
Okay.
Grab the satchel.
Are you gonna grab the satchel?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna
I'll
ask.
bring it to him, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, because otherwise, if there's no healing potion, I can like cure wounds, or what's my thing? I think I have to touch him, but I have a cure wounds. Yeah, I can cast that.
There's no healing potions, but what you find inside the satchel, there are 2 jars inside containing what looks like this thick sort of almost like a thicker lotion, ointment, oil. Not unlike, it has a similar scent, Floof, to the oil that you were given, and it's contained in a similar size jar, but just a thicker viscosity is the word I'm looking for. And there's 2 of them. One is about half empty, and the other is completely full. And you can see that there are various herbs suspended in this viscous sort of almost like a lotion or like a clay, like not quite as thin as a lotion, but not as thick as a clay, somewhere in between. That has, and now that you kind of pull them out of this satchel, you can definitely smell it has that same sort of oily, herbal smell to the oil that Floof used to bathe, not but a couple nights prior. But you also gather, Trash, it has the same sort of herbal scent to some of the potion ingredients that you've seen used in the magisterium or magistrate in the past.
Okay.
Alright, so they're probably medicinals.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll still cast Cure Wounds, just at like first level, so nothing like crazy, but
Sure. As you cast the spell, touching the broken wing, you watch as the bones initially just snap back in a very uncomfortable manner, but after the initial surge of pain as they relocate, given the nature of the spell, you see this soothing relief in the face of this hunter's eyes, and as one of the eyes is still heavily bruised over, but the other kind of opens wider. Help them. Oil will heal. Use on them.
Alright, those are pretty straightforward instructions.
mm-hmm.
I guess I'll oil up this one.
Okay. The other two you notice are motionless and are motionless, but in fact, give me a medicine check.
Yeah, I was gonna see if there was a way to check it.
Both of us?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Either or one can roll with advantage with the help of the other. It's your choice.
I got no bonuses.
Okay.
I got a +4.
Alright, you do it.
So yeah, you can roll with advantage.
Well, I pressed. Hold on. How does this work? I don't want to misclick. Right click? No, it's not right click. Is it left click? Nope, I just rolled it twice. Alright, second roll was much better.
Yeah. With a 19, you can definitely tell they are just barely alive. They have been beaten to within an inch of their lives at this point, but they are just, you can faintly feel air passing below their lungs. One, you can definitely tell, has a puncture wound in his chest, and likely one of his lungs is collapsed. The other, you can definitely tell, his heartbeat is so faint you can just barely feel it as you press your palm into the center of their chest and check along the vital points that you've been trained with your master to sense the various points of flow of energy in the body, and they are just barely there, like a light bulb or a candle that is just about to extinguish itself.
Alright. Very quick oil then.
You begin to apply the oil along some of the injured areas, and you watch as this viscous material, as it contacts what little warmth is left in the body, but mostly along the surface of your hands, the warmth beginning to melt it as it comes in contact with your warm flesh, as it seeps into their damaged tissues and slowly begins to seal. You watch as the herbs sink down into the open wound of the one that has the puncture wound in their chest. And at first you don't quite notice, and you apply what remains of the half-empty vial onto the two remaining, just enough to apply a pair of doses to the two of them. And at first you're uncertain whether or not the application has even taken effect, but given that medicine roll, you're able to concentrate the application. You watch as these wounds slowly begin to seal, not completely heal up. You also notice that a couple of the wounds carried with them that acidic mucus, and as you apply this ointment atop those acidities, they begin to mix with this, and almost like applying baking soda to fresh acid, you see it begin to bubble and sizzle before it settles into nothingness. and that severe initial reaction as the two components mix is settled and sealed in the process, almost like cauterizing the wound. And then you slowly begin to see one of the individuals, the one that had the major puncture wound in the chest, his chest begins to rise just a bit further as he is beginning to breathe once more. The other, also still unconscious, but you see the chest slowly beginning to rise as the major wounds are initially dealt with.
Okay. That's good news.
Yeah.
While this is going on, Floof, as you hover and watch your companions tend to the two heavily injured Aarakocra Umbral hunters, you slowly feel your vision, your consolidated vision, your mind's eye, if you will, begin to narrow like a tunnel. Almost like a thin veil of fog begins to form around your mind. And you hear a gentle female voice in your mind. "Oh, my dear. What brings you here to my abode? What urges you on in this darkened place? What motivates a soul to come here to seek my blessings?" Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw, Floof.
Okay. I mean, I'm just cracked tonight. I'm just gonna say.
Goddamn.
You
I am unfortunately using the things I have +7 and 8 on, but still.
You hear the voice echo in your mind as you focus on the matter at hand, your perception, your tunnel vision beginning to widen once more to your natural vision as the senses of the bats begin to take hold once more. This collaborative vision that you now share with this swarm, as your immediate attention is to watch over your companions as they do what they need to do to save these two individuals' lives, as you're able to shake off this strange voice that echoes in your mind, and it vanishes as quickly as it came.
Okay. I'll make some rapid bird or bat noises, screeches, I don't know. To indicate, trying to indicate something strange and dangerous perhaps here, and knowing that we're here. Or to be alert is the message I'm trying to get across.
Should we try to get these people out? Are these Aarakocra out? Are they... Can they carry their own weights? Or are they still kind of like stabilized but unconscious?
They seem to be stabilized right now, but they are still unconscious. Just barely outside of the purview of death that they flirted with just moments ago. The one Aarakocra that greeted you all remains stationary, leaning against the soft brush of the plant life, looking at you all. A bit of relief that the two individuals in front of them are not flirting with death any longer, but he looks at you all. Danger. Danger. Terrible, terrible terrible creature. Be careful. Danger. Danger. Hiding. Hiding. Water. Take.
Hiding water?
All you hear is hiding, and then slowly after, between the various chirps, in common you hear hiding and water.
Okay.
And he points at the other vial of that same ointment, the one that's completely full, and motions. He points at it at first, and then points to you. Motions at it again, and points to you.
To me?
Is it to your group?
Oh, does he want us to use it on us?
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
Nice.
The 23, you can definitely tell he's motioning, like there's this slow movement of one of the claws to that you kind of recognize as take it with you.
Okay, that was my other that was my next guess.
And as you kind of look at his condition and the condition of the other two, as you kind of get them in a more comfortable position, you can definitely tell that, at least from what you see now, that it would be extremely difficult to take these three individuals anywhere at the moment. That they are, without some sort of apparatus to carry them or additional assistance, it would be extremely slow going. But you don't see any initial signs with your prior medicine roll that they're in any immediate danger of expiring. But, you know, right now to try to take them out without a clear, clean means of escape, and by clean I mean not through your entrance into this cavern, below the waves, they likely would not survive that type of submersion for very long.
Yeah.
In their given condition.
We require another exit. Alright, well. I suppose for now we've done all we can. I'll grab the jar, the full jar.
Okay. You can add. You should be able to search it in your inventory or one of the inventory searches.
Okay.
It is called. What's it? Wrote it down and it has a very weird name. It's Theogems. It's spelled very weirdly. It's Theogems ointment. Or it's yeah, it's I'm sorry, it's Keotum. It's KEOGHTOM ointment.
Okay.
If you just search ointment, you'll find it.
Yeah.
Keothatome. I don't even know how you pronounce it.
Yep.
And there's 5 charges. So 5 servings, if you will.
Okay. Alright, I found it.
So it's an action to apply it, but each charge is worth, I believe, 2d8 plus 2 healing.
Yep. I'm just gonna edit 5 times. Alright. Well, I suppose. I suppose we can exit this area and continue along the path. And hopefully, we can find a more suitable exit, a non-flooded one. Preferably no enemies, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah.
Okay. So who is are you all heading that same direction, or what's the marching order here?
I'm still staying at least a little ahead as a scout.
Okay.
Yes, we can do the same order. I'm gonna be in the middle.
This area that you're entering back into, it's I would say it's about 2 to 3 feet deep of water, no much more than waist high, and it's beginning to the actual floor level below the waves kind of rises a little bit, almost to the point where it's not much more than 1.5 feet deep at the very most. In some of these areas where you see a lot of the vegetation deeper in.
Alright, well, we were warned earlier by our friend the swarm of bats that there's danger ahead, so I guess let us be on our guard.
Yes.
Trash. As you follow behind your companions, a gentle female voice slowly begins to enter your thoughts. As your vision begins to cloud in its periphery, as you focus on the backs of your companions moving forward. Young child, you come to me with questions, desires, dreams. What do you dream of most? Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw, Trash.
Okay. Ugh. Wisdom saving throw. 14.
Child, you desire so much. What is your deepest desire? And I will make it so. Trash. Rather, I should say, Quirky, what do you believe Trash's greatest desire is in this world?
To understand how she came to be and to see if there is like an origin that would lead her to a family of sorts.
As this voice echoes in your mind, as you follow behind your companions, you watch as your vision clouds a bit more and narrows. The forms of your friends begin to cloud a bit and cloud some more. And then they begin to darken and reshape in front of you in your mind's eye. As thoughts of family The longing for a home. The longing to understand your very existence becomes strong and present in your mind. The voice calls out again. A beautiful wish for a beautiful child. But you must be careful. There are those in this world who do not wish your happiness. You must see that they do not hinder your dreams. You must cherish your dreams. You must fight for your dreams. Where the form of your friends once stood walking in front of you, the haziness forms into a pair of darkly robed silhouettes, the edges of these robes giving way to a silvery line, and a bright silvery light that terrifies you to your very core. As you remember the haunting light of the Inquisitor's lanterns now coming into view directly in front of you in your mind's eye as your vision clouds over. Trash, I'd like you to make an attack roll on Dazes.
Okay.
As you see in front of you, not your companion, but the terrifying visage of an Inquisitor pointing a lantern directly at you.
Okay, well, then I'm gonna do what I do best out of hatred for what I see, which is I get to do 2 attacks
Okay?
with my crossbow. I'm so sorry. The first attack is oh my god. Is it 23?
Does that
Ouch.
hit Dazes?
Yes.
Okay.
And the damage is okay, that wasn't so bad. So 6 damage?
Okay.
Right as you begin to hear the cocking of a bow, Dazes, you turn and you hear the trigger give way as a bolt sails and strikes you in the back. As you turn and you see the normally clear sort of eye, what you would imagine are the eyes of your companion Trash, but right now you see that their face, their once normally formed and very acutely rodent-like shape of the face is now cloudy and uneasy and quivering as they stare directly at you and fire at you. What do you do as you watch as your companion knocks yet another bolt into their crossbow?
Okay, I mean, okay, first I'm probably gonna try to avoid the second crossbow bolt, so maybe I'll hide behind dodge behind this rock.
Okay. As you dodge behind Trash, go ahead and make another attack roll if you don't mind. Floof, as you see your companion dodge out of the way, you smell the scent and you hear the firing of a bolt
That one was bad. It was 11.
Yeah.
Plus, you would have the 3/4 cover, so that definitely will not hit. But while this is going on, you dodge out of the way. Floof, you watch as this bolt sails directly past, slamming against one of the rocky walls of the cavern. And you turn now and see the same sort of uneasy quivering of your companions, normally very defined, although gelatin-like face, and is very cloudy. The eyes quiver, the face moves uneasily. A scene you've only seen but a few times. A scene of fear and uneasiness and worry and just primitive reaction. What do you do?
Oh god, sorry, I've been coughing, so my mic can eat it. I am going to. I'm wrestling with the idea. I have two options here in my head. I'm gonna dismiss my wild shape. Reluctantly, and I'm going to communicate to Dazes here. Heard strange voice. Blurred vision. Think she confused. What do we do?
Well, my initial thought is to maybe restrain her. Because we don't want to hurt her. Strange voice.
Trash. Again in your mind, the gentle voice speaks again. As you watch your companions, what you once saw as your companions, vanish. Once more, you see the darkened silhouettes of the Inquisitors turning their silvery lantern light towards you.
And I can't snap out of it at all.
Give me another wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Oh. It's not good. It's 13, so probably not.
All you continue to see is the silhouettes of the Inquisitors as their bright silvery lights point towards you. You can't let them take your dream, child. They come for it. They come to dash your will, your hopes, your dreams, your life. I want you
Do
to
I have to direct it at particular, or can I like kind of just toss a coin and see like either, or is Floof still bats?
I just changed it.
Okay. I'm gonna like flip a coin and whoever it lands on kind of thing, because I don't think I have it directed at any particular, because in my mind's eye you both look like Inquisitors.
As far as you can tell, you just see two Inquisitors. Your companions are nowhere to be seen.
Okay, as you know, nicely as I can do this, I'm just gonna flip a coin.
I mean, you can. Well, I don't know. I guess I can't tell. I can't tell Trash where to shoot. So.
Okay, I see a second Inquisitor approach, and I will attempt to attack the new second Inquisitor. So the first attack is a 20.
20. What's your normal AC, Floof?
18.
18. You do have half cover right now, so that would be, well, it would still be a 20, so that would still hit. Because if it meets, it beats. So go ahead and roll damage on that.
Oh, I did not roll low. Oh my god. That's 10 damage. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, for the second attack, I'm actually gonna. I'll like step out into the open,
Okay.
so hopefully it gets aimed towards me.
Okay, I'll say if I
Um,
see the advancement, it's I redirect it or something.
All you
Oh
see is
my
another
God.
Inquisitor, and they are charging towards you.
Okay. So I fire. The second attack is a 25.
Okay, that is.
Oh boy. Hey! Oh, six damage.
Ooh.
Roll the 1 on that.
And I'll just go ahead and use my deflect missiles,
Okay.
which reduces 1d10 damage. So I mean, it should be enough.
In your mind's eye, Trash, you watch as the second bolt sails into the silvery light and shatters like stardust. As the fear begins to grow, as the light grows in front of you. For Floof and Dazes, you see the quivering fear of your companion as they begin to shake, holding their crossbow in their hands. You have never seen them in such fear before.
I guess I'll say we need a way to get through to her.
Hearing that and having no tact, I'm running up to her and I'm smacking her in the face and saying, "Stop."
Okay.
I like it.
Go ahead and, Floof, go ahead and roll an attack for me, please.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna do my weakest attack, which I suppose is an unarmed strike.
Okay.
I'm pulling the punch a little. Well, it's not gonna hit, unfortunately.
Yeah. You go to swing and Trash, in your mind's eye, you see this. Where Floof, you go to swing at your companion, Trash, in your mind's eye, you see this silvery colored net going out to extend over the top of you as you dodge out of the way just in time before it falls down atop you.
What's Trash Panda doing?
That is a.
I mean,
They are, as far as I can tell, if you can't actively command yourself, I would imagine in this instance they don't know what to do as they look back and forth, very confused.
yeah, he's just a very confused panda. He's like, friend shape, but why attack friend? He's very, very confused.
Yeah, you just kind of see him put his hands up either way, not knowing what to do. But
I think he would get involved if you like seriously hurt me, but he does recognize that you're a friend, so he's kind of just really confused.
Dazes, we'll go over to you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna get closer. Maybe not at quite the speed that Floof did, but in range to where I can maybe attempt to temporarily disarm Trash, so that maybe she won't be shooting us with crossbow bolts.
Okay.
What would that be, like a strength check, I guess, to disarm? Or
No, I would say you just make an attack, just to,
okay.
you can choose to make it a non-lethal or
yeah. All right. So
minimal damage.
What a roll.
You do have a second attack.
Yeah, let's try that again. Okay. Not much better.
Y'all.
Again, Trash, you watch as a second Inquisitor runs up towards you, carrying what looks like an extended polearm, but instead of a spear tip on the end, you see this spiked-like collar that they attempt to drag and extend around your neck, trying to bind you in any opportunity they can as you fearfully dodge out of the way, as you feel this radiant energy bouncing off of it, as you're just barely able to dodge out of the way of these strikes.
You know what? I'm gonna use a key point to do flurry blows. I'm gonna try
Okay.
this 2 more times. Oh my lord! All right.
Oh,
There we
there
go.
we go.
The final blow, you are able to make contact as your companion dodges adeptly out of the way, a combination of fear and just pure instinctual reaction, but you are able to find purchase with the final strike. Trash, in your mind's eye, you feel, although unreal, you feel your mind makes it real. You feel the pain as this collar sinks down around you and holds you tight as the strike hits. Go ahead and roll damage, Dazes, on that final one.
Okay. Please be a 5. All right. Okay, I mean 6, but non-lethal.
Okay. Trash.
As weak as 6 damage as I can possibly do.
As you manage to make contact, Dazes, what do you say to your companion?
I'll say, can you hear me, Trash? You're safe. You're with friends.
Trash, you still hear the echoes of the female voice in your mind, but as this pain begins to give way to clarity, go ahead and make the wisdom save one more time with advantage.
Oh my god. I rolled a 1 and a 20. Like, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, so technically, a nat 20. But,
Okay.
oh my god. Oh my god.
As the pain gives way to clarity in your mind, the strike transitions from the sear that you feel around you to the sting of a fist as it strikes what could seemingly be your cheek. As it pushes through, and the once foggy vision of the two darkened Inquisitor shapes gives way as you fall to your side in front of your steel defender. And directly in front of you, you find yourself in a pool of salty water, coughing a bit as you look up into the faces of Dazes and Floof once more in the dimly lit cavern that you were originally in. But the fear still present in your mind.
Yeah, I'll say, like, just through very, like, exasperated and, like, I'm just really confused and, like, I'm borderline, like, crying. I'm just kind of like, there was a female voice, and she just asked me what I wanted the most in the world, and then I saw Inquisitors, and I couldn't see you guys, and I don't know. I'm so sorry, and I don't know. I'm basically just like kind of a mess at this point. I'm just like crying, just weeping.
I heard voice too. Something watching.
The voice has exited your mind, Trash, although your initial fears still lingering quite strongly. You find yourself in the presence of friends. The gentle solace of this mostly empty cave. As you attempt to gather the complex chaos of emotions that you are now experiencing. unsure of what just transpired.
Yeah, I think I'm just.
I
I'm
mean,
just.
do we want to like chill for? We can chill for. Well, we can try to chill for like a few minutes.
I'll give you a little pat on the back. Like, it's okay. And I'm going to pull the arrow out of my arm that you shot at me and said, "This yours."
Well, I guess I can take the one out of my back too.
Mhm.
The one out of your leg.
Silently take them.
And I'll go ahead and say, you guys need to keep a close eye on me because I have not heard the voice, but at this point, I would expect it. Now knowing what it can do.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't even know how to block it out. It was just like in your mind. But like when I finally composed myself, because I was just in a terrified place, and you like, you can see him kind of like spending moments to kind of just like doing that self-soothing, like holding, like rocking back and forth, and I'm just like trying to quiet my mind again. And once I do collect myself, then I apologize and I'm very sorry. But then the fear and upset that I've hurt my friends and everything, it turns to rage. And I'm just fucking pissed.
I'll ask, should we leave or keep going? Dangerous here.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to fight that, but
Do you think the Aircocker might have maybe some advice? I mean, it's a long shot, but would it be worth maybe asking them if they know of something like this?
maybe.
I'm just gonna be like, why not? They're right there.
Can I do a bit of a check to see if I recognize if that was some sort of spell or something? If that was related to a school of magic, or if that was just some sort of ethereal presence that I'm not familiar with?
You can give me an Arcana or a Nature check, your choice.
Okay.
I will say in this instance, Nature would be a slightly lower DC, but you can use either or.
Okay. I could do a Nature check. They're both. Oh, not the best. 14.
14. You're not familiar with any sort of creature that preys on the mental faculties. At least none that you've seen.
Okay.
Or none that you've heard tell of. Nothing quite like this.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that quite felt so intensely real.
Okay, well then I got nothing. I mean, we saw the state that the Aarakocra huntsmen were in. They were holding on by a thread. I do want to turn back and be more prepared, but at the same time,
Time is of the essence.
time is of the essence, so I don't know what the best call is, but I'll go with whatever you guys decide. And I'm sorry for shooting you both.
It's fine. And I'll say, don't think hurts to ask them if they know how to beat this.
Yeah, I guess we can ask real quick. Also,
Okay.
would anybody like healing? Maybe. We have a few. I mean, we have a few health potions if we want to keep spells, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And above the table as well for you guys, you do have the option to take a short rest. That's always on the table as well. Now,
Yep.
that's not
We
always
could,
options in certain areas, but you have to weigh those potential gains versus consequences, when you're deciding to do that, but that's always on the table to try to regain some abilities and or hit points.
Yeah, I'm thinking we go back and keep a little longer eye maybe on our friends that we just helped out. Let trash cool off a little, and maybe just take a little half-hour short rest. We have been swimming, shark form, fighting creatures. I think a short rest might be good for our mental state, which may be important here.
That's fair. We can do that.
I'm gonna hold Trash's hand as we walk back in the cave. Come on.
Okay.
I need someone to stop me from walking into this brick.
Hey, don't run into the pit.
Oh, okay.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
No, I would assume that your companions would tell you that there's a large,
There's a massive pit that you can fall
large pit trap in front of you.
Figure it out. Yeah, I guess we take a short rest.
While
will-
resting. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was just gonna say, are any of these Aircalco conscious? Is there one conscious or no?
The two are breathing, but not necessarily conscious. The one that you are closest to now is conscious, but very fatigued looking.
I'm gonna put a finger in his face and ask, "You hear strange lady voice here?"
Yes. Oh, yeah. Hush. Hush. Danger. Soft. Danger. Strange.
I am upset by the word wash.
As you all take a moment to collect your thoughts.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and while you guys are over there, I'm gonna chill on this side of the pit.
Okay. At the entrance.
Yeah.
Ooh, I get my wild shapes back after a short rest. I didn't know that.
Indeed.
All right, this is definitely worth it.
Yeah, that's always an option. You just have to weigh. There are certain times where a short rest may not be the best of ideas, depending on where you are.
Like in a
so-
dark underwater cave with the crazy lady infiltrating our minds, perhaps.
Potentially.
Maybe not the ideal resting spot, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Potentially. Are you keeping guard, Dazes?
That to a degree, and also intentionally putting a distance between me and my companions.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a perception check, if you don't mind.
Okay.
A 25. You're fairly confident you don't see anything. You don't hear anything in the general vicinity, or definitely don't see anything coming through this cavern, as the slow trickle of water down into the shallower portions of this cavern network trickles down, moving deeper in. Again, still flowing back that way that you see, opposite the way you came. For the 25, you do still hear off in the distance somewhere. There's definite unnatural movement. Not so much the trickle of water or the movement of plant life as you sort of try to tap into the natural energies around you, as instructed many times over in your sort of meditative states of mind. As you focus, soft voice enters your mind.
Oh shit, here we
Okay,
go
who's
again.
watching Dazes? Damn it.
You've traveled so far, child. Lost so very much. Lost what you love most. The one who you love most. What if I could help you find that love again?
Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty.
Could we have helped him by him previously knowing that this was gonna happen?
I would say, given your circumstances, that you are very acutely aware of what's going on. I'll say you can make it with advantage in this instance.
Ooh. Let's see. 17.
17.
Why do you fight me, child? I offer to help you. I offer to give you so...
And as you hear these soft whispers in your mind, you clench your fist, driving your fingers deep into your palm as you use the pain to kind of swallow up the whispers as they echo in your thoughts. As you angrily drive a fist into the ground, as whispers of past loves draw out a deep-seated anger in your mind. And as the dull pain of your fist driving into the dirt allows you to gain focus and clarity, the whispers end. You are back in the quiet cavern with your companions.
Yeah,
But-
I'm gonna stay angry.
But if you guys would like to roll your hit dice, if you'd like to regain some hit points, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah. Is that where you can roll up to your level, so I can roll up to 6 of them?
Yes. So your hit dice depend on your class. So for, I think everyone here is a D8. I think everybody, Artificer, I believe, is a D8. I know Druid is. I believe Monk is a D8.
Yep.
So
I
yeah.
did 2, which will put me at full health.
Yeah, I used 2 dice.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Is while like when our vision starts to blur or whatever, do we have a moment, if any, of I don't know, consciousness or awareness to maybe alert somebody that it's happening, or no? So like if I notice my vision's blurring, can I like say she's here or something to kind of warn that they should keep an eye on me? Or is it more instant wisdom save fail or not.
Go ahead and give me... Let me think about this for a sec. Go ahead and give me an insight check. This would be definitely an understanding of a very emotional matter. So I would say yes, to be able to read what you've experienced in that moment. With a 19, you can definitely tell there is a definite... there is a pause where your mental faculties begin to cloud a bit when this occurs.
All right.
There's definitely a period of time.
I'll share that insight with the group and say, when vision blurs, say something.
Okay.
I'll nod. And I also share that I heard the voice if it wasn't obvious by my fist slamming into the ground.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'll come up by Disease and say, let's stop Vosh and gesture towards the cave exit. Proceed.
Okay. As you all take your time to rest and recover, both emotionally and physically, you steel your minds, taking solace in the company of your companion to do so, or in past victories, or past traumas, relying on the certainty of your thoughts in your mind to push forward, steeling yourselves as you head deeper into these caverns. What's our marching order as we continue this progression here?
I would now like to be sandwiched.
What?
Sandwich. Sandwich. I just keep saying sandwich. Me.
Sandwich.
Middle. Sandwich.
Is that everyone's safe word? Sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I love sandwiches.
Oh, I thought it was something.
Yeah.
Up to y'all. As you exit the pocket cavern where you found the wounded Aarakocra, heading deeper, looking for a potential route of escape from these caverns, you feel that the ground in this space is somewhat climbing upwards till you get to the point around the twisting kind of back and forth caverns where the water itself is not but more than 1.5 feet deep. As you see a lot more of this vegetation where the water isn't quite as deep and the salt content isn't as high. You also see the brightness of this bioluminescence much greater. Do you all proceed deeper into the cavern?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and, give me a general idea of where and, how far you guys are going here.
I guess we can start by going to this first split. And then... I want to think to where, maybe this first, loop reconnects.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead and place your
somewhere here,
place your
I guess.
tokens where you would generally try to move to. And are you all moving? How are you proceeding through here? Slowly, how are you all moving through these caverns?
I feel like maybe we should pick up the pace a little bit so that there may be less chances for spooky voices in our heads. And also, as I said earlier, for the Aarakocra, we need to be maybe a little bit faster as well, so...
Okay.
Yeah, with the hate situation, I'd agree with that. But trying, I mean, I am a forest being hunter type of guy, so I'm trying to also main, strike the edge of still maintaining some level of silence while we're moving through the water.
Okay. From that distance, as you all come around the first switchback, I don't know what you would call it, twisting caverns, noticing these segments of large stalagmites now connecting from floor to ceiling. As you begin to move deeper into the cavern, you watch as the slope or the floor that you step down in is beginning to descend once more, a bit deeper and a bit deeper, to the point where it's about 3, almost 4 feet in some areas. And from that distance, you can see a bit further in. Let's see. Come on. You see there is a wider mouth separation to the right-hand side and a thin gap to the left, just on the edge here. Move this down so everyone else can see. One path moving to the right, a bit wider, and one path to the left, just barely about 5 feet wide at its widest point.
Okay. Any, I guess any movement in our immediate visuals, what we can see?
Not in your immediate visuals, but if you'd like to make a perception check, I can see if you see anything deeper than that.
Yeah, why not?
21. You don't see anything, but you definitely hear some things as sounds echo from the chamber heading to the right-hand side. The sound of a voice coming in this direction, echoing off the walls. It is a mumbling, gurgling mess of a voice you just briefly heard. But you sense, and with that perception check, you can definitely tell it is frantic, almost fearful.
Your Majesty, please!
What do you do?
I'll let my companions know quietly that I hear a voice of, it seems one of the, I guess we don't have a name for him, but one of the, probably one of the creatures that we fought on the beach. Referencing Your Majesty coming from the right tunnel. And I would also like to ask Floof if from this distance he's able to smell which of these directions maybe smells like the oils that we are using to track the Aarakocra. If this is not too far away, which it might be at this point.
I'll definitely put my nose in the air and take a couple sniffs and see what I could do.
Okay. At this distance, I would say there's no need for a roll. You can definitely smell that there's a scent of oil coming from the left-hand side. Along with a distinct smell of decay.
I'll pinch my nose and say left bad. Smells like death and that oil.
Okay.
I'll ask. I can change to bats again and look. Thoughts?
I'd be cool with that.
All right, I will use wild shape again and turn into bats.
Okay.
And I'll go to about, unless I sense immediate danger, we'll say here in these weeds.
Okay. In your bat form, go ahead and give me a stealth check as you attempt to hide in the weeds and along the cave walls. It's not going to be super high, given that you are a small number of creatures, but and you would use the bat's dexterity, whatever that is.
All right, it's +2, so I'll just roll 20.
Yep.
19.
Yeah, you're fine as your swarm of bats kind of ducks into this large bunch of tropical like fronds that are growing off, giving off this light. But given the dark, otherwise majority color of this thing, you're able to duck under these large fronds and hang under as you look around. And at this distance, you can see pretty well into both of these entrances. The first, the one where you now at this distance, you can smell very clearly. There is a scent of rot and death coming from the cavern to the left. And I'll go ahead and reveal that to you as you see the source of said scent. It doesn't really show here, but what you see in this tiny alcove of cavern to the left is a stack of various bones and slowly melting corpses, among which are a few of the hunters atop the stack. As you see this congealed mucus melting anything of organic matter in this small cavern down to the very bones. They slowly melt through, leaving little or nothing but a blackened pool around these globs of acidic mucus. And you sense no life. To the other side, you barely catch the glimpse as the... Well, you would have blind sight, so you would see a decent amount into this other area. I forget you're in the bat form. Let's see. I need to get the measuring tool out here. Just a moment. You would just barely catch here. The edge of your vision here. In a much deeper, you can see and sense that the water is flowing down into this much wider grotto directly in front of you as you turn to this right segment. You see a form you are familiar with. The four-armed, bipedal form of the leader that you fought along the shores of the Ivory Coast. As he treads water in this deepened, grottoed pool that is full of this murky, cloudy water. The whole area kind of gently illuminated as these ferns and fronds all around it are kind of growing and giving off this bioluminescent light to the surface of the water. But unlike the water that you see around you that you've been wading through up until this point, this water is murky and has that same sort of acidic scent to it. Very much unlike the water that you've been passing through up until now. let me go ahead and reveal what you see here. Let's go ahead and reveal it. Because there is light here, so you would see quite a bit. Atop the surface of the water, you see waiting the four-armed fish folk individual that you fought, his harpoon in one hand. He still looks heavily wounded from your battle, covered in bloody scars of all kinds from either arrows or punches from your companions. As you see large flowing water coming from the cavern walls, the strong scent of ocean water as it splashes onto this grotto-like pool full of murky water, and you hear echoing down this corridor, "Please, Your Majesty, forgive! 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 Please, mercy!" And as you watch this, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, this is as hard as ever to communicate in the form of a bat. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna fly back to the group. I will dismiss my wild shape and communicate these findings. I'll say, to left, many dead, other hunters dead. On right, fishman leader, talking to something.
I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that they probably worship some entity that's been the cause of this mysterious voice that's trying to fog up our brains.
I'll nod in agreement.
I don't know if we should turn back and try to get more help from the tribe, or if you think we should just charge in. I don't know.
I'm gonna say must kill Vosh.
I will say, well, I'm generally in agreement of that, but I will also say, unfortunately, now that we've determined that the other hunters have passed, we can bring this jar back to the 3 hunters that are still alive, and since we don't really have a use for it, unfortunately, and they can maybe use it to heal up a bit more, and it may be possible that they could heal up to a point where they could exit through the other entrance. Well, I don't know. Swimming underwater in general might not be something that they can that works well for them, considering they're flying creatures and their wings and everything. So
You would have gathered from the understanding that you had from the other Aarakocra that accompanied you to the point where they couldn't follow any longer, that swimming isn't really an option.
okay.
Or submerging completely is not really an option, as it severely diminishes their ability, outright, potential for drowning.
Yeah.
And in their condition, a very high likelihood of that, given your medicine check earlier.
So yeah, we do need another mostly water-free exit, and I guess I can ask Floof if he maybe sonared an exit from where he was before. But if not, then we might have to. We may be forced to explore this cavern with the creatures.
Okay, Stopper. Anything discovered? Perhaps?
You did not sense anything in the cavern full of corpses, but you sense a possibility there may be another portion of the grotto to the right that you couldn't quite garner from your particular angle, because you didn't quite see everything. That it seemed larger than what you could see or sense with your blind sense.
Okay, I'll shake my head to finding an exit, but I will say cave, go deeper past enemy.
Well, I think we only have one path. The worst path, but
I'll say kill Vosh now, or they kill later.
I'm with you.
I like the trash.
Let's do it.
I'll put up a finger and say plan. And I will say get out of water. And not using the spell, but maybe in a cool fashion, display call lightning in my fingertips, suggesting that I'm going to shock them.
All right.
I like it.
All right, maybe I'll knowing the path.
To the entrance, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say, put a finger in my lips, saying quiet, and quietly move up to perhaps this corner.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another stealth check, if you don't mind, as you proceed further there.
Sorry, guys. I've been growing good. This is where it all goes down. Oh, I told you. I knew it.
As you move through the thick ferns to the right-hand side of this cave, your hand slips and some of the rocks along the wall begin to break free as the injured leader of the fish people turns on his heels, or I guess his fins, and stares directly at you between the brushes. Violent sanctity! Your Majesty, help me! And as you hear him cry out this command, it is greeted with neither movement nor response initially. But below your feet, Floof, you feel sort of vibration, a movement in this grotto, this large, wide area. You feel the current of the water deeper in begin to change. As normally this water flows into this grotto, as you see a number of various falls coming from breaks in the rocks in various places at this distance. Give me a sec here. Map a little bit, so and at that, no, you wouldn't see it at that distance, but you would feel there's a definite movement here, both in the stone, the sand, and the current moving through this space. Are you all following behind Floof to some degree? I'm just trying to get a gear of whether or not you would feel this movement either.
Well, I want to lean towards yes. Maybe not as close because we.
Yeah, maybe not as
stealthy. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say we were kind of following. Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead and place your tokens where you think they would be, just so I can get an idea of.
Okay. So, I wouldn't have wanted to leave. I would have stayed here.
Okay. You wouldn't quite feel this vibration in the rock, but Dazes, with your general passive perception, you would feel this change in the water, the change in the current. A similar change in current that you would sense if something very large was moving in and around the waters that you occupy. And as this angry cry, Floof, as this individual stares at you, preparing to strike as their trident extends up, as they begin to cock it back as if to throw it, you suddenly see a bubbling behind them from the center of the pool before a whoosh, a tendril-like tentacle whips out from the waves below the surface and snags this creature, wrapping completely around them. Like a large, the widest point towards the surface of the waves in the center of this pool, almost as wide as the trunk of a tree. As this scaly, silvery blue, mucus-covered tentacle wraps around and drags them below the waves. As you hear this blood-curdling cry before being silenced below the water. And as the waves begin to settle, you see a crimson-like pool begin to bubble up from below the murky waters, followed by more of this slow bubbling, building, like waves in the center as these vibrations grow stronger. The center of the pool is bubbling, turning into almost like a geyser billowing up in the center of this grotto. The water here, you're not certain how deep it is, but you would imagine, given the shaking that you're experiencing, it is quite deep. Deep enough to house a very large entity. And as this vibration begins to move and reach its apex, you see a massive shadow begin to rise up from below the waters. A creature, almost like a squid to some degree. As it rises up, you see this large circular maw with nearly 5 or 6 rows of razor-sharp teeth that descend back into the jaw with this large central eye that stares up at you directly below the waves. And as it extends further up, you see another eye open up from a flap of flesh, and another eye behind that, in a direct line, followed by several rows of what look like razor-sharp fins along the spine, as this creature climbs up out of the water, seemingly floating on nothing, just above the surface of the waves. You now get the full length and breadth of this massive fish squid-like entity as it extends above the waters. I will remove...
Oh my god.
I will remove this individual because they are a fine bloody paste in the water at this point. As this creature extends above, floating just above the surface of the water, staring directly at you, Floof. And you hear in your mind,
You and your friends should have listened. I would have given you so many precious gifts, my child. But now, I cannot let you leave here. If you do not serve your majesty, then you will feed my grace.
and at this point, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ooh, boy.
Dazes, you and Trash have not been seen yet, so technically you would have a surprise round if you would like, and then we will start up the actual initiative here. You do have one surprise round because you are not technically we're pseudo in initiative right now. You haven't been seen, I guess, or they don't recognize that you've approached.
Mm-hmm.
They know of your presence, but they don't know where exactly.
Right.
So I will give you both a surprise round. And just so you know as well, when you get to this point here, the floor essentially falls off, and this would be deep water, so you would either need a swim speed or it will become difficult terrain at that point.
Okay.
Got you. What do I do? Oh my god.
Zoom in a little bit.
I could. Dazes, you want me to like send you in, like launch you in there, kind of thing, or would you rather?
Oh.
Because I could technically for the round I could move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because 30, and then I could at least kind of see and hear. Like I don't know if I can. And then I could kind of launch you in there, vortex warp. But
As long as you have visual line of sight, you can use it.
yeah, I just kind of assumed that I could kind of like at least see, not all the way in to where the creature is, but I can see like this wall here kind of thing, like from where I move.
Right. I mean, this is dimly lit here, so I mean, you would have a visual of this creature. Like, it's not completely dark in here. In fact, there's probably more light here based on the amount of foliage, because all of these things are giving off light. So you would have a decent amount idea of where the creature is.
Okay. Yeah, so your call. Like I can either do that or I can just like straight up attack.
Send me in.
Okay. Okay, so I move. I'm gonna do it. I will cast Vortex Warp, which is a willing creature and You can choose to fail, and then I will teleport you to an unoccupied space that I can see within range. It'll either have to be on a surface or a liquid that can support you without you having to squeeze. So I think this fits that. So I'll basically start casting it on you. You can choose to fail it, and then I can send you. Range is 90.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll choose to fail.
Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 60, 75, 85, 90. I can pretty much put you like right here. Depends on where you want. Like, do you want like literally direct like here, or do you want closer to the wall like here?
I mean, it's gonna be deep water either way, but
Yeah.
let's go swimming. Put me as close to this weird creature as we can get.
Okay. That is... So you'll want to move yourself into where I ping, because I don't think I can move you.
Okay, where is this? Oh,
That was... I'll ping it again. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. You're like here. Yeah. That is my movement and my turn. Panda will just kind of follow suit. Just 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Because he's got 40 and he can't... Oh, he can dash. So I guess 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
Yep.
30, 35, 40. So he's beside Floof. And that is my turn. For the surprise.
Nice. Okay. Well, Dazes, you are still in your surprise round, so you still have your full movement, your full action, and your bonus action. What would you like to do, sir?
It's water genasi. Okay. So I guess I'm like swimming surface level at the moment. Can I like just move 5 feet down and see what I can see underwater? Basically, I'm trying to get a visual of like if everything above water is this monster, or if there's like substance below
Sure.
surface level as well.
Yeah.
As well.
From what you can see at this distance, you know, given your passive perception, if you want to look deeper, you would need to use your action. But what you can see from most part, most of its main body is now ascended above the water. And then the only thing that's below the surface right now are just the tail end of a few of the tentacles and the main tail, which has this large fin, spiky fin on the end of it.
Okay. If I wanted to determine like if there's a particular weak point, I guess that would take an action.
Yeah, if you want to kind of discern, I would say, you know, in this case, if you're looking for some sort of weakness or soft point, I would say you would probably need, this distance. I mean, you couldn't really do an investigation, perception, or insight. Insight might be a little bit easier because you're trying to discern a reading on where something critical might be. Might be a little bit easier, but you could also use perception to just be a higher DC.
Okay. I'll go with insight.
Okay.
Ooh boy, nat 20 plus 4.
Okay.
Woo-hoo!
Nice roll. With that, you can definitely see that the outer spines are the heart, like this outer carapace is covered in that sort of a mucousy membrane. Not quite. It has that acidic scent and sort of style to it, but it's not as concentrated. But you can see within the maw these rows of razor sharp teeth, and along the tips of some of these tentacles are more of that mucus, that intensely like dense acidic mucus. And there's this underwater, you can see there's this sort of cloud of this mucus that's kind of spread throughout the water that's made this whole area very like hard to see through below the surface, which was hiding the creature up until this point in time where it rose above the water. As far as a softer, like a weak point, given that you rolled a nat 20, you can definitely tell that like any creature, its soft tissues, like its eyes, are definitely perhaps its weakest point. But they're definitely shielded around them, like around the brows and things like that, are shielded by sort of this harder carapace. But a well-placed strike, given, could definitely do the trick and do perhaps a bit more damage. But, you know, it'd be a much smaller target and more difficult to hit.
Okay. And what size would you say it is? I mean, looking at the circle itself, it's like...
This is a
40 feet
gargantuan
wide.
creature.
Okay.
I mean, this creature from end to end is probably anywhere from 80 to 100 feet.
Okay.
I mean, the head alone is probably 15, 20 feet across
Okay.
at its widest point. Like, it could easily swallow a creature whole of your stature.
So, given, I guess, I don't know, the exact positioning of this creature at this, like, exact moment.
It's hovering about 5 feet above the surface of the water, the main body.
Okay.
And you're about 30 feet from it.
Okay, I guess I'll use one movement to, like, swim towards it, and I'm gonna attempt to... climb onto it.
Okay.
As far onto it as I can go, I guess.
Okay.
So, I guess what is that? It'll be a athletics check.
Yeah, give me an athletics check. Well, first and foremost, give me an athletics check to see if you can climb on it.
Yeah. No, I cannot.
Yeah, no, you go to grab on and you slip immediately off of one of these tentacles. And as you grab onto this creature, that mucus gets covered across your arm and shoulder. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh boy. This is that same like mucus?
Similar. Similar.
Is it a Constitution you said?
Yeah, Constitution.
Where are all these ones coming from?
Ooh.
What the hell?
Ouch.
As this mucus begins to stick to the surface of your arm and your flesh, you see it beginning to penetrate into your skin. It doesn't burn so much, but you definitely feel like something is biting into your flesh and penetrating below the surface of of your skin. To what effect that is going to have, we'll find out shortly, but you don't notice anything immediately.
I'll yell, don't touch the mucus. And I guess I'll just go ahead and try to whack at it with my staff.
Okay. Go ahead and place yourself where you are in relation to the creature.
Oh, yeah.
Also, while you're there, just out of the corner of your eye, let me go ahead and reveal what you see over here.
I guess if
The
I'm close to
remainder of this area.
Okay.
You notice to your left, as you're kind of moving through, that this was potentially once some sort of smuggler's den, as you see a very man-made set of wooden planks and stairs extending into a cavern exit of some kind to your left-hand side.
I guess I'll also yell, exit that way and point in that direction. So that
So
my
we're
companions
here.
have that knowledge.
Of course. All right. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and take some cracks at this creature, let's see it.
Yeah, let's take a couple swings. Only 1s and 20s.
Oh my
that?
god!
Nice.
Hey, you can add your
Oh
you can add your
my
quarterstaff's
God.
extra damage here. in addition to that. So that is a nat 20. Let's see that big boy damage to start with.
Let's see. How is this going to work? Okay, so I'll roll crit damage. I don't know if the vicious is going to come into it already, but we'll see how that goes.
Right.
So I think that's just the normal.
That's the normal, and then you would add an additional whatever it says. I think it's an additional D8.
It just says extra 7 damage.
Okay, so you just add that on top of it, so it'd be 15 total.
15.
15 total. Good to know. Make a note of that right quick. Okay, cool. I decided to digitize this time so I can keep track of stuff on a spreadsheet.
Very nice.
Because we're in 2024 now. But yeah, a solid strike as you come down across. Just as this creature is turning to open its maw, you strike out and slam at one of the closest eyes, striking through as a gush of this awful azul-like blood spews out of one of the eyes as it gives off this awful cry as it wrenches back and forth and swings these trunk-like tentacles around below its main body. But yeah, go ahead and let's see that next strike.
Whack it again. 20.
Oh my god. Woo! Only roll 20s on combat apparently. But yeah, 20 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Oh wait, sorry, I rolled a script that time again. I think it was
Okay.
supposed to.
That's fine. You can roll it again if you want.
Oh, actually, that's it for my roll.
Okay, then are you swinging this one-handed or two-handed?
I was doing it one-handed.
Okay, so that'd be another 8 points.
1d6 plus 4.
Yeah, so that'd be another 8 points. All right, 2 solid strikes. Is there anything else you'd like to do? As your second strike cuts across, and you're able to knock out a row of the front teeth as more of this azul blood splatters across the rocks and falls into the murky, mucus-filled waters.
Yeah, I still have my bonus action, so I'll go ahead and use a key point and do flurry of blows, and I'll aim for an area that does not have mucus,
Okay.
so that I don't get any more of that on me. And I'll go ahead and try 2 more attacks.
Okay.
That's a miss.
Unfortunately, a 10 as you swing your forearm the other way, trying to strike out. You slide across this rocky carapace on the outer edge of one of the tentacles.
Try that one more time. Oh, that is also a miss.
And the second strike again, you try to come down, but one of the tentacles bats you away. Still furious at the strike from earlier.
And I think that will be it.
Okay. That was your bonus round, correct?
Yeah, the flurry of blows is my bonus action.
No, your bonus round. I mean your.
Oh yeah, that was my yeah, you're right. That's still the surprise round. I forgot.
So that was still the surprise round. So in this case,
Keep punching.
Yeah, you can keep going.
All right. They're just wailing on this thing. All right. Well, more attacks with my normal action. Yet again, a 1. Or that one.
Oh my god.
You strike out, and this time the tentacle comes up and knocks you back, pushing you back about 10 feet away from the creature as you are slung back into the water by the force of the moving wave that erupts from the water.
How big is like the reach on this thing? Well, I guess I'm. Like how long does the tentacles look like?
On the reach of the main body? You would guess at this distance, given your passive perception, anywhere from 10 to 15 feet.
Okay.
away from the main circle. It has a pretty decent reach.
Yeah.
You watched that tentacle grab out from below the waves, and you didn't even see the main body when it grabbed and essentially destroyed the what remained of the leader creature just a moment ago. You would imagine it's a pretty decent reach.
All right. Well, I guess I'll move closer yet again and take my second main swing.
Okay. A
Alright,
22
so
definitely hits this time. As a series of blows you were unsuccessful with, this time you managed to duck and weave through the water, jutting up just in between and driving the staff up towards the face of this creature where the soft tissues are. Go ahead and roll damage.
Alright. That'll be 6.
All right. Another solid strike as it cries out this primordial screaming wail, and in your mind you hear, "Why would you hurt me? I only wish to help. I only wish to live through you, that you may serve me."
I'll say, no thanks, lady. And I'll flurry of blows again.
Okay. Let's see it.
No thanks, lady. Back to pummeling her.
Nat 20!
Oh my god. All right, let's see it.
This is a bit different. I don't get the extra damage because it's not a quarterstaff, but it's still a crit.
All right.
Solid 12.
Solid strike once again.
And the second one, fist.
Whew. Yeah, both hit.
Nice.
The first strike coming down directly into the elbow, directly into one of the eyes. The second strike with the following hand, following through and striking the soft tissue once more. 6 damage. All right. A brutal series of blows, a handful of misses, but nonetheless a severe amount of damage to this creature as it cries out. And it's going to use one of its legendary actions to hit you with a tentacle. In retaliation.
No, don't do that.
Or try to, anyway. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
All right. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And I need you to make an athletics or acrobatics check, please. Your choice.
I know which one of those I'm doing.
The 27. You're able to dodge out of the way, ducking through the water like a well-tuned machine, able to avoid the grapple of one of the tentacles. But with that, we are on to Trash. What would you like to do?
I would like to. Yeah, I will have to move a little bit. So, 30. Oh wait, I don't have 40. I have 30. Cute. Yeah, I'm gonna try just basically sending my arrows where they were originally intended
Okay.
to the person that was the cause of all this. So I will do my attack. So it'll be 2 attacks. So the first one,
How far away from them are you?
I am. Oh, will it be at disadvantage? Because I'm too far away.
What's your max? There's 2 distances for your crossbow. What's the first
Yeah, it's
and
like
the second?
80 and 320.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be at disadvantage if it's greater than 80 then. Because you're at long distance.
Okay. If I don't do that, I don't know if I have any other spells that I could do from... Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I have anything else that would do anything meaningful. So I guess I can take 2 attacks, but it will just be both at rolling at disadvantage, unfortunately.
Yes, because you're greater than its normal firing range.
Okay.
You're at the distance range.
Okay, I'll try. All I can do is try.
Okay.
Okay, the worser of the 2 for the first attack is 17.
17 just hits.
Perfect.
As you fire through, managing to focus and drive your anger from earlier, the letting loose the emotion as you aim towards one of the center eyes. Okay.
So first damage is going to be 8 total.
Okay.
And the second one at disadvantage. Oh, so nice. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a 10 for the second one.
Unfortunately, the second goes wide and shatters against one of the rocks on the wall. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That's my turn, and then Panda still can't do much, but he can still keep pushing in. So 5, 10, 15, 25. Oh, wait. After he crosses the steps, it's going to be difficult terrain, which is like half movement.
Yeah, once you go across those steps, you're, half movement because your swim speed would be halved. Or half of your normal movement because you don't have a natural swim speed. So yeah,
30,
difficult terrain.
40. So he can only get as far as here as soon as he crosses.
Right, because now you're in very deep water.
Way. Yeah, he's making his way, but he's not a swimmer per se. And so he'll just have to kind of maybe try to swim over to the edge or something.
Right. It is definitely much like watching a raccoon try to swim through a lake.
Yep.
It's exactly what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
It's exactly what it is.
And that is my turn.
Okay.
I was going to say, as the first bolt flies past me into the monster, I shudder slightly.
Some PTSD there.
Mm.
On to you, Floof. What would you like to do, sir?
First, I look at my companions and shake my head because they're all standing in the water. I told them not to because I wanted to electrocute it.
Wait, we're like all in water. It's gonna take us like at least a few turns to make our way out of it, right? Because like all of this was water, right?
Bert recognizes that it's logical and nearly impossible, but Floof does not.
Fair.
But that's like mostly my fault. My bad.
No, it's fine. So what I'd like to do first is look at how tall is the ceiling of this place?
The ceiling in this cavern is much higher. It is probably 40, 50 feet tall from the surface of the water up to the apex of the ceiling.
All right. Can I? Are there stalactites or whatever, stalactites up there?
Yeah, I would say that there's a handful of them. Yeah.
All right. Thinking about earlier, I'm gonna come up with a little scheme here in my little head. I'm gonna cast Spider Climb.
Okay.
Check that slot. And after I do that, I'm gonna grab my bonus action is still magic stones. I'm gonna grab a couple stones before I do this. And I'm gonna start climbing the wall.
So you're casting magic stones?
That's my bonus action, yeah, just
okay.
so I have them.
Got it.
And I suppose I could probably grab them from the wall, but I guess while I'm on the ground level, whatever.
Either
I'm
or.
grabbing them now, yeah.
Wait, you cast magic stones as a cantrip or a spell?
It's a bonus action cantrip.
Okay, you're good. You're good. You just can't cast 2 leveled spells in a turn because you're casting Spider Climb. So you're concentrating on... Is stone's concentration?
That is an excellent question. Let me make sure that it's not.
Don't think it is, but
It is not
Okay,
concentration.
you're good then. All right. Sorry.
All right.
Just
And
double
I'm
checking.
So I'm guessing this, the way this is worded, I'm guessing it's not bonus, but it says it adds climbing speed equal to my walking speed. That's not doubling it. That's just transferring it to 30. I'm guessing.
Right.
Or do I get
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna move.
Because normally if you're climbing, you would need to make an athletics check, and then it would be half your movement because it's difficult terrain at that point because you don't have a given climbing speed. But in this case, it becomes your climbing speed as your walking speed.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move 20 feet along the wall
Okay.
and 10 feet up it. So I'm
Okay.
10 feet up from where I am right now.
Got it.
And that's pretty much it for my actions for now. This is prep turn. I didn't get a.
Yeah, because you
Right.
cast Spider
Right.
Climb, that's your action, and
Yeah.
then stones and the movement. So,
Yep, that's gonna do it for me.
okay. With that, we go to, I think. Her Majesty is going to use one of her other legendary actions, and they are going to descend down below the water, but not before leaving a cloud of acidic mucus at the surface. Descending and using that legendary action to move. Let's see. Check movement here. Okay, that's what I thought. Alright, so they are going to. Oh yeah, they're good. Dazes, I need another Constitution saving throw from you, as you are surrounded in this mist cloud of acid. And
Bad.
they dip below the water in a fantastically quick speed. Oops, I'm sorry. I think I moved them too far because it's just their normal movement. Sorry. They are there. That would be back, actually. I'm sorry. Yeah. 'Cause it's not a dash action. They pop up there. Constitution. That is a failure.
Yes.
You take 10 acid damage from the cloud of mucus.
Alright. The previous mucus wasn't. Wait, hold on. The previous 8 damage wasn't acid, right?
No, that was from one of the tentacle. Yeah, that was bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
You're not resistant to acid, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that would be halved then to 5. But from there, they move out of, and because of the cloud of acid, there is no opportunity attack in that case. As they move out of your range. And then on their own turn, they are going to move toward you, towards Panda and towards you, Floof. And they're going to take 3 attacks. The first one they're going to take at you, Floof, seeing you climb up the wall. Does an 18 hit?
Barely.
Okay. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And I need you to make an athletics check, please. Or an athletics, an athletics check to
All
avoid
right.
a grapple. You're good on that. You avoid the grapple as you cling to the wall, but then I need you to make a concentration check for the damage. It should just be you just need to make above a 10.
You said...
So a Constitution save.
Concentration?
Yeah, concentration. Yeah, because you took damage while concentrating. Ooh, just barely. Yeah, you just needed a 10, so you're good.
Right,
just barely. But they're going to swipe out, and you're going to get hit with another tentacle.
All right.
This time, yeah, definitely. This is a 24 to hit. As another tentacle comes down and slams against you. You take 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god.
All right, for this one, I'm going to use my Stone's Endurance as a reaction.
Okay.
To reduce damage by 1d12 plus 2. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay. You said it was 13, right?
13, so yeah, it'd be reduced to 6. And then I
Very well.
need another athletics check from you.
Okay.
All right, you're good. And then I need one more concentration check from you to hold on to Spider Climb.
Okay. Ooh.
You lose concentration as this force slams you against the wall, and you fall face first into the deep water in front of this creature. And I also need, since you came in contact with the surface of their body, I need another Constitution saving throw, please.
Very well. That one's much better.
Yeah, you're good. You're able to shake off this mucus before it can sink below the surface of your skin. And then the last one is going to go against Trash Panda. That is a 16 to hit.
I believe that hits. Yes, unfortunately does.
Okay. That is 9 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need an athletics check from them.
Sorry, I forgot to look up the sheet. So it was, how many points of damage?
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
9 points of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And a strength check?
Athletics to avoid a grapple.
Athletic.
Or athletics or acrobatics, I'm sorry.
Okay.
To avoid a grapple.
Oh, brother, that's an 8.
They are grappled as a tentacle wraps around their form. And your Steel Defender is a construct, correct?
Yes, I believe that's like...
So then the effects of the mucus on this creature's body do not have effects on them, so...
Okay.
Avoid that. And I don't... Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it has damage immunity against, I think, poison and...
Right. So this is specifically a disease.
Yeah, I don't think...
Which your construct can't get a disease. So
Gets, like...
Right, because it's a construct.
Yeah, okay. Okay, but it is grappled.
Right, it is grappled, so its speed is 0 until it breaks the grapple.
Okay.
But back to you, Dazes. You have experienced much time in the water, so this isn't abnormal. And I believe you can already breathe underwater, correct?
Yes.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
What you do begin to notice as you are above the water that your breathing becomes shortened. And it feels like your lungs are beginning to fill with liquid, as if you were submerged below the water, and yet you're not. Like, it's becoming harder to breathe air above the surface.
Okay.
It's not affecting you critically yet, but you are definitely feeling like something is making your normal breathing above the water more difficult, and it's getting worse.
Okay, so like if I put my head underwater real quick, do I feel a difference?
Yes. You feel relatively normal.
Alright.
The moment you come and start breathing air once again and oxygen, You feel like it's labored, like your lungs are filling with liquid already.
Okay.
Like some sort of thickened liquid.
All right.
Just mechanically speaking, this is a form of disease.
Gotcha.
But with that, we're back to you. What would you like to do, sir?
All right. Well, I'd like to go underwater
Okay.
and stay underwater.
Okay.
I will also move back towards the creature.
Okay.
Whatever spot gets me. I mean, I don't know. It might be kind of blocking my point of view, but can I tell where? I guess Panda's grappled right now, but can I tell where Panda's grappled at the moment so I can be in direct?
I would say, yeah, you'd be flanking in that point. To a degree, as you see Panda struggling and scratching out at this carapace from the opposite end.
So I'll chill in this spot so I can direct flanking, and I will. This is gonna be interesting. Let's go with my regular quarterstaff attacks.
Okay.
I don't know. Does being underwater affect that?
In this case, no, I don't believe it affects it.
Okay.
In this case, no, because I would say you have proficiency and you're adept at fighting below the water.
Okay. Let's go ahead and whack it twice. So 17.
17 just hits. As you strike out and you find a soft tissue below the chin.
So,
Okay.
and whack it again. That's a hit.
Yeah, 25 is definitely a hit.
That's another 7.
All right. You're definitely beginning to see the wear and tear beginning to form on this creature
Hey, wear and tear.
Yeah,
as
wear
it
and
grows
tear.
angrier and angrier by the moment. And it's going to take another legendary action.
Of course it will.
Damn it.
And it is, let's see. What's the distance here? Ooh. I want to do that. I don't think it's too far away. Yeah, it's going to swing a tentacle at you, Floof. And so you don't seem to be as adept below the water. It's going to go for the easy target. Getting a 19 to hit.
That'll do it.
All right. And then I need an athletics check from you, sir. Athletics or acrobatics to avoid the grapple. You're fine. You managed to just adeptly push the swirling tentacle out of the way. But you do take 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Hell yeah.
You are slammed up against the rocks. And then we are on to you, Trash. What would you like to do?
Well,
Panic.
I think it's go ahead.
And then.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry. You still have your attack. I apologize.
How much damage did you say I took?
12. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
I thought you were finished up, Dazes. I apologize.
No problem. I'm gonna just throw some more flurry blows at it.
Okay.
Nope.
Fortunately, a 16 just misses as you go to swing, and one of the tentacles bats you away.
Alright, let's try the second one. Oh, nope. Definitely not that one.
Nope. That one, in fact, you get pushed away. Again, you are knocked back by one of the waves, pushed back about 15 feet this time by a huge rush of water as this massive tail pushes you away this time.
Alright, now I'm good.
All right. Sorry about that. Back to you, Trash.
Okay, so I'll go back to panicking now, and then I will I can just make it into there, and then I will fire 2. I will do my attack. Oh, you've got to be joking me. So the first one misses at 14.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does not hit as it goes wide between the swirling tentacles.
Second attack was 17. Does that hit?
17 just hits. As you manage to find purchase inside the mouth of this creature into the soft tissue as it turns and looks at you from the first bolt.
Okay, not the best damage roll, but 7 damage.
Okay.
It's not much else I can do. I don't really have... Yeah, I don't have much else I can do. We haven't taken a long rest, so a lot of my spells are burnt. So I'm done, and then Panda's grappled, so he can't move.
He can't move, but he can still act. He's not restrained.
Okay. Well, he's a melee attacker. He doesn't really have anything outside of melee attack, so I guess all he can really do is try to break out of the grapple, right?
Right, or you don't have to. He can still attack. He just can't. His speed is 0, is what grapple means.
Okay, but would he be able to attack like whatever's?
Yeah.
Like like the tentacle that's holding him, I guess.
Yeah, you can still attack the creature.
Okay.
If you want to break free, if you were like a ranged attacker and you wanted to break free, it would be an action to do so. But if you're just attacking in melee, then it's fine.
Okay.
It doesn't.
So yeah, I
inhibit
guess he'll. Okay, yeah. So then he'll stay put and he'll just try to attack, I guess.
Okay.
So he 18 to hit.
An 18 hits as he scratches out, looking for purchase in the face of this creature as he swung back and forth against towards the walls by this squid-like creature.
And damage. Again, rolling pretty poorly, but he does do 4 damage.
Every little bit helps. As you're beginning to see signs of weakness in this creature, as that azul-colored blood is beginning to drip all over the various wounds that you've inflicted thus far.
And that's my turn.
Okay. The creature is now going to use its last legendary action for this turn, and it is going to rise up its head, and you watch as this cooling cloud of this mist-like mucus begins to form in its gullet, alongside what looks like some sort of crystallized material deep within the maw of this creature. Something very unusual. Even for a creature of this magnitude and monstrosity, it seems unusual for something like this to be inside of an organic being. But as you're thinking that, a cloud of acidic gas sprays out, and I need a Constitution saving throw from Floof, Trash, and Trash Panda. As you are carpeted with this mucus-like spray.
Okay. Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
And this is more disease, not poison.
This is acid.
Acid. Okay.
Specifically, the damage is acid.
So that's so funny. So con save for Panda is 15, and
Okay.
con save for me was terrible. It was 8.
8. Floof and Trash Panda, you succeed, so you only take half damage. Trash, you're going to take the full brunt as you turn right as you're staring up at that crystal in the maw of this creature deep in its gullet. You get blasted with the full force of this cone of acidic mucus. That is 18 acid damage total. If you failed, so half that, so 9 if you succeeded. And then from there, we are on to Floof.
Okay.
You are
Nice.
in the water directly in front of this creature.
All right. Sorry in advance, everybody. I'm going to climb up 25 feet.
You lost concentration on
that's
spider climb,
right.
so
Yeah,
just
you're
keep that in
right.
mind.
All right. I'm still doing what I'm going to do. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm going to do... seeing that this has a bigger surface area and I'm pissed at it because it's been fucking me up. With the stalactites on the ceiling, I'm gonna make a desperate move here, and I'm gonna cast an earth tremor in here to hope that I could loosen some of these stalactites and
Okay.
drop them on this
I like
creature.
it. Go ahead and post Earth Tremor in the chat if you don't mind, just so I can read the spell.
No, you said apologies. I was expecting to get electrocuted.
That's what I thought you were going to
I
do.
thought about it. I did think about it.
You were going to use Call Lightning, correct?
No, earth tremor.
No, I mean earlier when you were talking about electricity.
Yeah.
Call Lightning, I believe, is concentration. So yeah, you would have either lost concentration on spider climb and fell into the water either way. So yeah, you can't be concentrating on 2 spells, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
There's a tremor in the ground within range. Each creature other than you in that area must make a dexterity saving throw on a field save. A creature takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. If the ground in that area is loose earth or stone, it becomes difficult terrain until cleared. Each foot diameter portion required at least to clear by hand. Higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, the damage increases by 6. Okay, so are you casting it as 1st level, 2nd level? What are you doing?
Let's just say 2nd level.
At 2nd level? Okay, so it would be that against their DC, and you're trying to cast it on the ceiling because there's really no floor that you can see right now. You're wading in like deep water.
Just kind of against the wall and the ceiling, whatever I could see.
Okay. It's a little unorthodox, but I'll allow it because technically the ceiling is technically the floor of the area above it, so I'll allow it.
All right.
So yeah, go ahead and you're casting it at 2nd level, so it's 2d6. I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it definitely wouldn't need to make the save because it's not necessarily like sitting on it, because it's either in the water or floating in it. But in this case, we're talking about the stalactites on the ceiling that we're trying to do. So go ahead and roll the damage, and depending on the amount of damage done, we could see how many potential stalactites fall from the ceiling
Okay.
and what that would involve. The 10, definitely more than what you needed. You needed like at least an 8. I would say more than half of that. Go ahead. I'm going to say with that amount of damage, of the 4 that were up there, 3 of them would fall. So each of them would fall about 40 feet. I would say go ahead and roll 8d6 for me, please.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the way to type that so I don't have to roll the ones?
Roll /R 8d6. I believe that should roll it.
There you go.
Ooh! You all watch as Floof reaches up after falling face first into the water, unsuccessfully able to maintain his spider climb, and just churning out this carnal rage towards the ceiling as you look up and spot those same sort of loose rocks and stalactites from earlier, these sharpened spear-like pieces of rock and earth and sand, and the shake and tremor that is caused by it dislodges about 3 of them as they fall down towards this creature. I am going to give it a saving throw, but that is going to be a dex save. based on your spell save. What's your spell save DC?
I don't know. What is that?
So go under your
Wisdom?
spells up at the top. It'll tell you what your DC is.
Spells.
So go to spells.
Oh, 15.
15, there you go. Perfect. All right. Just a moment here. No, that's a 3. So it is going to take all that damage
Nice.
as you watch these piercing rocks driving into the main body of this creature. It is not looking good,
Hell yeah.
as that was a solid amount of damage to this creature. 34. Yes. Yeah, it is looking quite beaten up at this point from that rock fall.
All right. As a bonus action, I'll throw a magic stone at it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for your magic stone throw. A 24 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Let me take this guy out the stone.
6 damage. It's still moving. It is very pissed as you hit it right in the eye, as it is struggling to see, as you see that dark blue azul blood dripping down, and one of the spikes definitely chipped away these front row of teeth. And from where you sit now, as it stares at you, Floof, from this sundering you just gave it, you can now see deep within its maw a crystal-like material of a light blue color deep within its gullet. A crystal the size of a football. Probably almost 8 to 10 inches in diameter.
Okay. I'll
And
take note of that, but that is my turn.
okay.
You know what the magic stone reminded me of was in Bloodborne where you can like throw rocks at the enemies.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, let's see. They are going to follow suit as you sense now a distinct amount of fear as a soft female voice cries out in all your minds, "Let me live! Let me live! Let me go!" As it disperses this cloud of acidic material out as it moves below the waves to try to escape. I need a Constitution save from Trash Panda, Floof, and Trash.
Okay. Oh.
I'm constitutionalized, bitch.
That was. Let's see. So. 17 for me and
Okay.
Panda. Let's see. And I rolled a 20. Jesus.
Okay.
That's so good.
You all succeed, so you take only 5 points of acid damage.
Okay.
As this cloud jets out from all the pores of this creature, and it tries to escape towards the opening here. And as this is happening, let's see. I think you would just barely catch a glimpse of this, Floof, from your position. Trash, your gaze and Panda's gaze are kind of blocked by this rocky wall here. Dazes, you would see this in full view. As you see this glimmer, this arcane circlet, this sigil suddenly apparate out of nowhere around the main, I guess you could call it the throat of this creature, encircling it as a figure appears just behind it here. I don't have a token marker for it. I guess I could put like a stand-in token. I don't really have like this. You see a figure appear here out of nowhere as they cast what looks like some sort of curse around this creature's throat, separating the body of tentacles and the head full of eyes and this maw of teeth with this arcane circlet of eldritch symbols all around the throat of this creature. You can't really see the face, but you see this thin, slender form garbed in dark black robes, obscuring the face. All you see are thin silhouettes of eyes that are a pitch black, no pupils of any kind. And just as this circlet begins to form around this creature, you watch as this thin, pitch black, dripping blade begins to form in their hand like a mist till it solidifies in the right hand, and it begins to crackle with this eldritch energy as they raise it up towards the creature and jump up towards them, striking down all in one motion. Yeah, definitely striking there. And as they strike down right at that separation point, that separation of this eldritch circlet of energies, you hear this crack, almost like a lightning strike, directly down on this point. Barely, as this strike of energy, as they climb up on the carapace and slice deeply across, directly cutting through the head of this creature. Not far, Floof, or Trash, where you saw this crystallized material deep in the gullet of this creature. This point where that football-sized crystal was buried in their gullet. You see right where this slice is formed, and this arc of eldritch energy spikes across this separation point where this sigil forms around their head. And a horrendous cry of this creature you can all hear in your minds. Just this garbled scream going from abomination of creature to female scream, and this mixture back and forth before silence. As the whites, color of the eyes of this creature go dim, and the head falls completely off of the body into the murky waters beside it. The large crystal that you saw buried in its gullet, falling like a beautiful, azul, darkened piece of mineral. And now, as it's freed from this creature's lifeless corpse, you see it for what it is, a massive chunk of lunarium buried deep in the gullet of this creature. As it falls with a thud into the soft, muddy dirt just on the opposite side here, as the figure lands beside it.
Dun dun dun.
As they turn, Dazes. It has been years now. But even through time, many trials and tribulations, through pain, both external and self-inflicted, and an emotional growth, many lifetimes in the making, you still have a strong sense of recognition as this feminine face turns and looks directly at you as it picks up this large crystal in a satchel. The eyes darkened, staring directly at you. You recognize the stare. You recognize the feminine silhouette of this person as they stare you directly in the eyes before slowly turning and walking towards the exit of this cavern. We are out of initiative. But what would you like to do?
For a moment, for like a few seconds, I'm in like stunned silence. But then after the recognition washes over me, I'm gonna scream her name and say Ada, and I'm gonna try to swim as quickly as I can towards the stairs over here.
Okay.
Did I see this strange lady?
You would have just caught the silhouette as the arc of eldritch energy severed the head of this creature that now sinks below the surface.
Okay. I'm gonna ask, who is that?
Dazes. You watch as this figure continues to walk towards the exit. But you do hear a response.
Don't speak my name ever again, Dazes. You have no right. I don't want to hear my name on the lips of a betrayer, a liar. Your time will come. Your day of retribution will come, along with the rest of this world.
And she continues to walk towards the exit. What do you do?
I will continue to give chase up the stairs.
Right now, she's about right towards the edge of this cavern where it begins to narrow and exit.
Alright, I'll continue to chase and I'll say, I'll say, wait, what do you mean? I don't understand. And I'm continuing.
I'm nosy and following.
Yeah, we're just kind of following.
As you follow Dazes, give me a Constitution saving throw as she drives the tip of the blackened sword into the ground, and you feel this arc of energy blast out all around them before they vanish. Just one sec. Check. Unfortunately, that is a failure.
Whoa!
Their spell save DC.
Oh, snap.
Damn.
As they cast Thunderstep at 5th level.
Oh,
Man, 5th
God.
level. What the hell
Yep.
is going on here?
You take 26 thunder damage, and you are blasted back 30 feet into the water.
Alright, well. I mean, 30 feet is like here, but I'll just,
Oh,
since you said it,
yeah, into the water. I'm sorry.
Sploosh.
And crater is left, but no sign of the feminine figure you were chasing after.
I'm gonna run back to help Dazes.
With Floof aid, I'll resurface onto land. And even considering the fact that I've just submerged from, submerged is going below. I've just got out of the water, you can see the voluminous tears flowing on my face.
In addition to the shock and the both emotional and physical of the blast, you feel your breathing grow short and shorter by the minute as the effects of the mucus are still in effect, and you feel your ability to breathe air is diminishing rapidly.
Okay, I'll go ahead and dip back underwater again. As I pass Floof, I'll just say, I can't breathe.
I'll cast the healing spirit on him.
You cast the healing spirit, but although you can certainly cast it, but the effects of this disease are not entirely removed, just the damage that was caused to them. But if you still want to cast it, you're welcome to do so. It just won't remove this particular effect.
I'll do it instinctually, if for no other reason, and to
Okay.
give him some healing.
As I said, mechanically this is a disease.
Okay. I'll notice him not healing and say, "What's wrong?"
So like the mucus in the air, it's
You feel your
just
lungs,
not-
Dazes, are filling with liquid. It's almost like like having pneumonia. Were you not able to normally breathe below water, you wouldn't even understand what was going on. Like it is like a severe, like your lungs themselves are becoming ill-equipped to breathe normally.
Can I search his body for remembering that the oil did the up there or cock roll or whatever that stuff was?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can certainly do that. Are you using the ointment or the oil, or are you?
I'm gonna maybe pour some into his. I'm gonna make him drink it.
Oh God,
Let me drink it.
It
Well,
tastes-
maybe we
okay.
can.
Okay,
No,
go ahead.
I will stop
Start by-
him. I will stop him
Okay.
to apply it instead.
Okay. In this confused state, you grab the vial before Floof can just jam it down Dazes' throat, and you optimistically grab it and begin applying it topically instead of orally.
Yes.
Before Floof gets any other ideas.
And maybe focus on the area where the monster hit me with the mucus on. I think it was my arm.
Yes.
Yep.
You definitely see there's a strong rash forming there, a discoloration of the flesh. And then as you apply it, almost like vapor rub across the chest and the shoulder, Dazes, you begin to feel this sort of soothing, almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Menthol-like effect. This cooling effect as your lungs that up until now had been slowly filling with this thick viscous material are beginning to slowly dry out as air begins to fill them once more. It takes about 15 or 20 minutes before you feel like you can even begin to speak once more. But after a bit of a harrowing struggle to capture or to get out a full sentence, you're able to assure that there is a positive effect taking place after the application.
Okay. I'll just like pop my head up every now and then. Pop my head above water to like test it out. You know, every now and then until it feels, I guess, back to somewhat normal.
Right. And Floof, your healing spirit lasts for 10 rounds, essentially. So you could cast that, 9 more times on yourself or your allies if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Because it's a minute, so it essentially is 10 rounds.
Well, I did one on you. Does these already for
5.
5?
Mhm.
Seeing you're in the most mortal danger, I'll do. I don't know. Let's say.
I'm feeling pretty good now. I'm like half health.
Okay, I'll give you. Oops. Wait. What is it? Slash roll
Yeah, /R, space,
slash
and then the number of dice, and then the
3d
type of dice.
d6. Okay.
Right.
There you go. Have that.
Like that.
How you doing, Trash?
I'm like not the healthiest, but I'm okay. I should be okay. Worst thing, I can just heal myself.
Oh, here, take a couple.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll do the rest on myself. Because I'm in shambles.
But nevertheless, you are able to
Whatever.
gather yourselves after that harrowing experience, both physically and emotionally. And just as you are beginning to come to terms with being able to breathe once more, Dazes, you hear a familiar voice coming down through this passageway, calling out to you all in a bird-like chirping as you see a pair of Aarakocra come charging through this cavern entrance. The first, a familiar but welcome sight of Zaisha, accompanied by one of her other umbral hunters that had accompanied you to this location. Go. Then, as you see them coming down through, crying out to you all.
We heard a blast, and then a hole formed above where we were able to see, so we followed it through. Are you all right?
Well, we're alive, but we've been better.
I'm kneeling in desolation and depression. I'm vaguely aware of what's going on around us.
And I'll just tell them that there are 3 more in the cavern that are stabilized, but will need more urgent care than we are.
Of course.
She gives notice to the other Aarakocra, who flies back up through this seemingly opened tunnel now, as she looks to you all and wants to affirm that you are all capable of taking care of yourselves, begins following behind, taking your direction, Trash, towards this separate cavern. As the other flies outwards to grab more assistance. While this is going on, Floof and Dazes, well, Floof, seeing as you're more in your less emotionally damaged mind, just below this waterfall, where the fresh water is pushing away this cloudy, mucus-filled water, you see a glimmering object, or series of objects, just below on a rocky shelf.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll stare at it. I'll stand up and stare at it and squint at it for a few seconds, maybe hoping someone at least notices me giving it attention. But I will, of course, walk over to it and see
Swim
what
over to
is.
it?
Yeah.
It's about 10 feet below the surface, but you notice that there is a small chest with exquisite-looking steel fastenings around it that are plated in a much more precious gold plating. But it is a small chest, and a person of your size, even swimming, would probably be pretty capable of lifting it up and bringing it to the surface.
And I will do just that.
Okay. You drag this chest up, and underwater it's not incredibly heavy, but it has a good amount of girth to it. But you're a large, stout individual. As you carry it up and bring it off to the shore, you can definitely sense there is a strong or a hefty weight to this chest.
All right. If I'm able, I'll get my feet on the stairs and lug it up.
Okay.
And drag it to the level surface. And is it locked? Does it appear to be locked, or can I'll attempt to open the lid, I guess.
You notice there's a latch on it, but there's no lock latching it on. It's just fastened over the top of it. It looks like if there was any type of lock on it, it's long since been broken, or wasn't there to begin with.
Okay. Yeah, I'll lift the latch and check the inside.
You see a large stack of coinage, miscellaneous gemstones, and other small, valuable, pressed ingots of valuable metals with an approximate worth of about 2,100 gold.
Oh.
In addition, you find 2 other small, unique-looking items. One is what looks like a palm-sized glass orb with a small shard of lunarium encased within this glass orb. A very intentional crafted item of some kind. In addition, you see a ring that specifically looks like it's got a flattened top with various runes carved into the top of it that would sit over 2 fingers in this sort of finely made gold band. And despite all of this, these 2 items being the coins and the gemstones are very dirty and very some of them slightly decayed but still mostly intact. These 2 items look pristine, as if they just came out of a submersion cleaner. They are beautiful.
Okay.
No tarnish whatsoever.
Interesting. Only Dazes is here at the moment. Is that correct?
Trash, are you joining your companions over by the potential exit?
Yeah, I will say I've been there.
Okay.
Because I followed earlier. I just didn't move the characters, but I did follow.
Okay.
When I saw that Dazes was out and then got launched back in.
Yeah, you would have heard the blast and saw Dazes got jettisoned back into the water.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll kind of LA Noir it in my hands and just kind of say, what's this, guys? Unless, of course, I recognize it. I guess I would recognize the Lunarium.
You would definitely recognize that. As far as what the item is, this well-crafted item, this orb of sorts, this glass item. Are you proficient in Arcana?
I don't think so. No.
Then you really wouldn't understand what this is without some sort of magical means to identify it. But if someone was proficient in Arcana and would like to take a closer look at it, they are more than welcome to do so.
I think that would only be trash.
I don't think I'm actually proficient in Arcana. I have a lot of like I have like a +4 to it, but I don't actually. It's not marked as proficient in my.
Gotcha. I would say in your particular case, yeah, I'd allow it just because you have some amount of training.
Okay.
And especially with crafting, I would say you would have some amount of training to it.
So that was 15 total.
15 total. Okay. The 15, are you specifically looking at the ring or are you looking at the orb?
I will say ring first because that seems more curious. The
Okay.
orb I do want to know more about, but you see a hunk of Larium in it. It's like I'm more curious about the
ring.
ring, yeah.
The ring, you're fairly certain you know what it is. You're not like 100%, but you're fairly certain because you've seen rings like this, specifically on members of the Magisterium Arcanum. And this would be generally from what you've seen. You've even seen Catherine use one of these. This is a ring of spell storing.
Oh, okay.
So this can be used to essentially cast a spell and stored up to, I believe, 4th level or 5th. I'd have to double check, but I believe up to 4th or 5th level, or a combination up to a certain point. So like one 4th or 5th level spell, or like a series of lesser spells cast into them, and then they can be stored until spent using an action at a later time.
Got you.
As far as the orb, you're less certain of it, but you can definitely tell that it was crafted by a well-tuned hand.
Okay.
And it is another magically created item that has some amount of latent potential inside it. Like, you definitely feel arcane charge from that crystal in the center, and it was very much purposely encased in this glass sphere. But without further time to take a closer look at it or have somebody with a trained eye look at it, you're not 100% certain on what it is.
Yeah, like that's the best I can do for now, kind of thing.
Right. In this situation, you're not 100% certain.
Cool.
But yeah, you have 2,100 gold worth of miscellaneous gems, ingots, and coinage on top of all that you found within this chest. Likely this was potentially smuggler's bounty that was stored here. As you see the stairs that you stand on now, it looks like rock in this, but you're standing on what looks like some sort of old shipwood. Dazes, you definitely, this looks like a plankway or a man-made stair that was purposely built into this grotto.
Okay.
That this was likely some sort of potentially used as a stored location or some sort of smuggler's den at one point or another. But these creatures, if they even knew that was there, likely didn't have much use for it. But nevertheless, while this is going on, you see several of those Aarakocra hunters that had accompanied you now come down through the passageway, giving you all a nod, asking for directions, and then they see Zaisha now coming around to give direction as the survivors are identified in this other cavern here. While this is going on, what are you all doing?
I mean, I'm looking at Dazes.
Probably still wallowing in the self-pity, to be honest.
I'm looking at the gold and trying to count that high and see how much is in there.
It is definitely one of the largest sums that you've ever seen.
Just so I'm certain, did the the weird lady, did she take the football-sized thing of Lunarium?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
She wrapped
Yeah,
it
no,
up in a leather satchel and carried it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for the air cockerel to come back and figure out the next plan. Just making sure everyone's good.
Okay. Is there anything specific you guys want to address right now, or do you want me to just carry things through here as we're getting a little long in the tooth here? If there's anything you want to specifically address or role play out or anything like that, this is your opportunity.
I'll ask Dazes again who that lady was.
Yeah, exactly.
I will explain that was my love, Hedda, who I lost long ago. And who I have been searching for since I met Trash and Floof.
Lost as in you thought she was dead, or she was just you just didn't know where she was?
I thought she was dead.
Huh.
I'll say I don't think she likes you.
Yes, I can't understand why that might be.
Did that seem like her? Like for all that you saw, like did it seem like it was her, or did it seem like she was a little different?
I mean, like physically, there's no mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure I, don't recognize like the, the change in tone.
Mm-hmm.
That's certainly come as a surprise.
I'll ask, want me to chase her?
I think she's long gone, unfortunately.
I'll instinctively try and pick up a scent of sorts in the air from where she was, if possible, even though I'm guessing that it's unlikely.
Yeah, at this point, you don't pick up anything. It is
Okay.
whatever the force of that blast was, it has eliminated any sort of trail in its casting.
Okay.
It's as if the scent of this individual has just vanished instantaneously.
After sniffing the air, I'll say no scent on Crazy Lady.
But go ahead and give me go ahead and give me a perception check, if you don't mind, Floof.
All right.
We'll see if you can... Dirty 20. You get the scent of... You've been around... I think at this point you've all experienced some form of death. Some to greater degrees than others. Floof. The scent you capture that barely remains in this instance. The scent in what's left in that massive crater that was left when they vanished. The few footsteps that remained on the salty soil and sand. It's like the scent of a corpse. And yet, the individual you saw was very much alive.
I will bluntly say, after smelling, smells dead. Weird.
Dead?
I'll nod.
She was right here, in front of me.
I'm certain I smell death in the air around her.
Oh, yeah, I'm just as confused and lost as ever.
I'm gonna go back to counting gold. I'll give it a shrug. Dead to me. And start counting.
As you find yourself deeper in thoughts, Dazes, Trashy watches. Floof continues to dig through the various coins, gems, and miscellaneous precious materials in the chest. You watch as the Aarakocra are now gathering their wounded hunters, carrying them as best they can towards the exit here. And you see Zaisha carrying one of the wounded hunters, the one that's perhaps in the best of shape, which is not saying much between the three of those individuals. The two others just barely coming to consciousness now as they are carried by the stouter individuals, having to bear more of the weight of these individuals.
You need to leave here. I hope there's not another one like that.
As you all stare at this floating monstrosity at the surface of the murky waters in front of you. The deep blue, azul blood filtering out and being diluted by the salty water in all directions, but nonetheless a gruesome sight. One that you never anticipated you would ever see in your lifetimes. Certainly nothing natural that you've ever anticipated seeing.
Can I try to ask her what this creature is? If they've ever encountered something like it before?
I've never in my whole life seen anything like this. And I pray to the mother of this earth that I never see it again.
Agreed.
We should return. There's reinforcements coming to help with the wounded, to carry the needy, and once they arrive, we can assist you all in returning to the verdant embrace. The elder will want to hear this, as well as tell us. Perhaps they'll know what to do in this situation. I'm sure you all could use a much-needed rest.
I'll nod. But I will ask. You see, dead blue lady walk by when you came in?
We saw no one as we exited this. We simply heard a rumble, and then we saw the ground above cave in to relieve this chasm outwards. But we saw no individuals. We saw no one exiting.
I looked at it to Dazes and shrug and say, and put a hand on his shoulder and say, dead.
You can see me visibly frown further.
I will say sorry and give you a good couple pats on the back.
Well, whatever it is, we can at least try to find her again and maybe get to the bottom of it.
Very well. Perhaps can we begin our ascent? I don't like being so close below the waves. It makes me anxious.
I'll nod and latch the lid, grab one handle, and drag it behind me as we're walking out.
Okay. Aziz and Trash, do you follow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn around real quick and stare a little longingly into this deep lake, as if something that I wish was there would appear. And after a while, I will also turn and walk out of the cave.
Okay. It takes some time for you all to trek up through the ascending steps that were created through this network of smuggling tunnels that you see. You do see wooden beams very much intentionally put in place that are not natural. Like, this tunnel was created some time ago, and Dazes, having worked alongside some of these individuals, you can definitely tell that's very much what this seems to be, is some sort of smuggling tunnel of the past, but long out of use and out of date. A lot of the wood is rotted and just barely holding on in places. In the opening, as you finally crest and you begin to feel fresh air swarming down into this tunnel as it rises and rises, you see that the portion that had collapsed inward was some sort of man-made concealment cover of sorts. This wooden framed sort of like hatch top that was then covered in moss and grass to conceal its entrance above ground, deeper into the caverns below. As you exit up into the slowly rising sun on the horizon and breathe in deep the ocean air, the freshest air you've smelled in years, exiting these caverns, although physically, mentally, and especially emotionally drained from this ordeal, you can't help but feel a little bit of relief that at least it's over for now. As you see the silhouettes of flying humanoids coming to your direction on the darkened horizon on the westward edge, back towards the mesas. And we'll go ahead and wrap things up there for the evening.
She's evil. Why is she evil?
But not before you guys level up to level 7.
Ooh.
Hey.
So, yeah.
That's fun.
Evil! Evil!
Why evil?
Time to wrestle with my emotions.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a good one.